What's up? I'm Andreas. Hey, what's up, Brittany? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So, you guys know that the dude who played Hagrid died? Did you hear this? You hear about this?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I don't know. Let's look it up. I'm going to see if I can find the video. Is it casual enough for
you?
I
It's
thought that was good.
Sunday or Saturday, depending on where you are, first of all.
That's a good point.
Let's
get really
discuss
metaphysical about this whole Saturday.
Because we're going to
Sunday
say,
conundrum.
I would like to say happy Saturday night, but it is
Sunday
midnight.
morning.
So it's the first of Sunday morning.
That is the craziest.
In our area.
Isn't that what's weird about Saturday
But
Night
it
Live?
might not be Sunday morning for you.
Oh my God! What was Saturday? SNL.
But we're not we're not in New York.
No, but think about that, because like
We're just in between. So
Saturday Night Live happens on Sunday morning, so really it's like it should be.
if you're
Sunday
not
morning.
in California.
True, right? I think is that like the whole point? Is it's for us?
And hold on, it starts at 11. It used to be like 11:35 or 11:15, so it would end.
Wait, did it really?
In Minnesota, I think.
Yeah, see, because you're an hour different. So you saw it at 11 when it was at 12 for them, and it's midnight.
We're an hour different from
New York and Canada, more important.
And from California, we're
I mean,
more than that.
California's 2 hours
Yes.
different. Relax. Yeah. But I mean, so my point was the same. It wasn't the same. We just did the show with Vigil. Chris was talking about this idea that noon was not
Yeah, I know.
at noontime. It was
I saw that. That's
What do
why
you-
I thought it was interesting when you said, "Well, it's not technically the first in the morning," and I was like, "It is the first of the morning here,
I mean,
but not everywhere. It's kind of like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I don't know."
No, but 6 o'clock in the morning tends
Speaking
to
of,
be noontime.
I'll say that. Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, all right.
If people, yeah, it's Saturday night. If it's really early Sunday morning, I guess that's terrible. It's like the first thing I do in the morning.
So
is drink.
this apparently goes deeper. Did you know? It wasn't just the idea that 12 became the half point, but also the months are weird too. That June used to be New Year's. Obviously,
Yes,
had to have been.
and
So
don't even get into Juneteenth.
June New Year's. Don't.
Oh yeah.
That's a spoiler.
Sorry, no, it's not.
Basically.
Whatever. Nobody knows anything. That was the spoiler. If you hear that, nothing is spoiled. I assure you.
Right. That's true.
It's even better. It's gonna be like, whoa,
dude. That's the beauty of sounding like a
nobody-
bumbling moron. Is
that
you
was
can
perfect.
Say so
I want a high
many...
five for not. That's it. That's
Dude,
the last we can say about that.
The high five was out of frame, which
Doesn't
is
matter.
even more esoteric. But Biden sees highest approval rating in over a year.
And I did left-handed. You did right. We were both opposite-handed.
Dude, that is also, yeah. You took the left-hand path. I did not. What does that say about it all? Here's the thing. Joe Biden is a subterranean limbo bar. What do you think? Do you know what I mean? Because everyone tries to compare him to someone. Someone the other day said he's like a pedophile. He's kind of like that Master Roshi guy. And that made me feel bad. Cause
No.
Master
I used to do
Roshi.
volunteer work at a nursing home for a while
Roshi.
in college, and
No, I didn't.
I didn't. Okay, I had class and I had to do volunteer work. I did want to after and continue, but I want to make sure I'm honest.
Cool.
But no. I'm saying that's what Joe Biden would more remind me of is like a post-stroke victim that I had.
Isn't
Oh my
that
God,
sad though? Isn't it sad? Yeah, right. Like,
don't wanna get
and you're like, I just feel
Joe in
bad for
trouble.
him. I just really want
Sorry,
to hope
I'm
the best.
Just sorry.
No, it's just not.
No, but
that's
for real,
honest.
this guy's name was Al.
Aw. You can call him Al.
Anyway,
Don't cry.
I'm not. Oh my God.
The poor guy.
Anyway, I didn't want to.
No, and no disrespect to Al though, right?
No,
Because
but
Al was probably an okay guy.
Yes,
That's the sad thing. He's
But
a
I think
subterranean
also
limbo bar. You can't
the
go lower.
Prez has had a stroke or two.
It feels like it, but I don't know. What do
No,
I
he
know?
had to have stents in his brain.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Oh,
true. I mean, there's
I'm
things.
not laughing about that either.
Okay.
It's terrible.
All right. I shouldn't be.
I don't know if it was a stroke for real.
shouldn't be
So,
freaking
anyways,
out, yeah.
when you're talking about that, I'm not trying to be mean or a horrible person.
No, of course
But
not.
I also see only highlights of speeches that are,
It's not a good look for
viral
America.
and
Right.
on YouTube and covered by people,
He doesn't.
in a certain niche
It feels like
category
that's the plan.
talking about it. So I'm sure on like mainstream, he's got, these really intellectual, intelligent sounding speeches that I haven't seen yet.
I don't know. Well, all the speeches I heard that were
And he's not
intelligent
shouting
and like
children's
20,
heads
30
and
years
stuff.
ago, he had good speeches, but they were all stolen. Like, right, his early speeches were all Labour Party speeches from Britain that he just recycled. But did you see the Black
And
Mirror
there was
episode?
also, that's what got me banned on TikTok. I had his repeated speech taken from Europe, and it was the 70s. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it here. Anyway,
No,
it was
I think we can.
early 80s, late 70s.
Biden plagiarism.
No, it's like the one that I
can't-
had on Iraq where everybody said the same thing over and over again in all these different meetings across the nations, the world, and then the one I'm talking about now is it was
Campaign release 1987,
it was,
plagiarized from a speech from the British politician.
and it was side by side. He was talking about how hardworking coal miners, his dad, and it was clearly a lie. It was like the same exact story, and it was like something that really inspired a bunch of people, and so it was kind of like, whoa.
Are you able to?
And then I got kicked off of TikTok, so it was like, really, for that one? Inappropriate content, and then I went ballistic.
Well, that's what you get for telling people the truth.
That was appropriate.
You shouldn't tell people the truth.
So.
Anyway, here's the truth. Biden's debate finale, an echo from abroad. 1987, they're going to try to lock it, right? No? Yeah, you can see it. Neil Kinnock commercially did not lead the electoral success last May in Britain, but the 10-minute spot of the Labour Party's leader's passionate speeches against the cool soundtrack of Brahms, which is, come on, raised his approval rating by 19 points. I love the 19. It keeps coming up. Not up to you. It's his thing.
Okay.
Become an instant classic. On the side of the Atlantic, many presidential campaign strategists of both parties greatly admired the way it portrayed Mr. Kinnock, who subsequently lost to Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, as a man of character. Okay, well, you get the thing. He wrote the speech, and he was told a speech. It might have been written by the same team, but it's like an MI9, MI7 kind of speech. And he recycled it. So that's your first connection to the Labour Party in Britain. But wait, was that even important? Did we want to Biden out really hard for some reason?
No, you had said...
I had a thing about Waldo, and you were
no.
Waldo.
You said something.
It was about Black Mirror and Waldo.
Biden.
Yeah. It's all about
Didn't you?
It's all about Waldo.
You compared Biden to somebody else, and I was like, well, and actually reminds me of this guy Al, who was a stroke victim.
Yeah,
and then we came back to
which is a beautiful thought, but it's a deviation from my point, which was
and also
Waldo,
might be something.
Can we do the Black Mirror Waldo?
Yes, do it,
Thank
please.
you. All right, so the Black Mirror Waldo episode that you saw, right?
Yes, correct.
If everybody remembers, in this episode, he's a puppet master, and he comes up against a system of puppets that are in the electoral British government. And the CIA, they say the agency, they show up and they say, it's a really great thing you've got going here. This character everyone already knows isn't real. They can kind of handle it, and they can recycle the speeches. And eventually this character, he has a team behind him. So it's a lot like this idea we've talked about before, AI. Instead of having a patsy person who's senile, have an AI that has to have a team behind it. It's a bit more honest, right? And it can that's supposed to compute the idea. Well, here you have a puppet and the puppet strings in the royal court. So the speech can be written by anybody. It looks cute and adorable, but for whatever reason, it's not enough that it's cute and adorable. It's like your grandpa. You know what I mean? Like Joe Biden looks like.
But they get also more into character, I think, because it's more of a virtual. So he's got to operate it like a manual car, like driving, where he has got that suit on.
I'm sure it'd be hard to operate Joe Biden.
No, I'm just saying in the episode.
Yeah, I don't think he's fully worked out.
I just feel like that helped with the acting and would help someone if they're trying to portray the character. Otherwise they could just use their voice and have this thing, but they're like making it move, right?
Dumb little thing here. Odd Law is
Things
Waldo. Waldo is backwards for Odd Law. They even reflect it in the episode. I don't know. Big deal.
I thought of Where's Waldo immediately whenever I heard Waldo.
Which over there they call Wally.
Wally.
Yeah.
Good
so
film.
There's some stinks.
Weird.
So Robbie Coltrane.
What did we just watch that was like Wally? That I said no. Sorry.
What did we watch that was like Wally?
Is that real? Anyway,
it was like a 70s. It was a 70s. Oh, Silent Running.
Oh yeah.
Why not? Let's do it.
No, you're on something. Sorry.
No. It's weird.
Earlier,
I was thinking about Silent Running.
About film. We're not here to talk about film. We're going to talk about something else.
No, but this is
That's all right.
I was going to do some news articles, but let's talk about a movie from 1972. That's more fun. So.
Oh yeah. Wally.
I mean, we brought this up already though because David Plate was talking about.
You couldn't think of it. I inquired about it.
No, I remember the name of it because David didn't remember the name of it. But this movie's very near and dear to me because it's one of the movies that inspired me to try to use like real sets and things. And then Brittany's like, "How did they do this whole thing?" I almost wanted to not even tell you how they did it.
Yeah, let people watch and see and be like, "That's a magical robot."
You really need to after you watch it, find out.
Or is that why you have the show to tell people look at these?
Should you?
No, I don't
Flip
know.
a coin, you know?
Yeah, let's see what people want. Do you want to see the part we're talking about and see if you can figure out what's going on?
Yeah, like this robot here.
It's
How
almost
did they
like,
build?
how do they build this? Yeah.
These robots are named Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
big part of this too. And so, just like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, like one loses its,
oh boy,
the lords lose their heads. You know, these are it's so deep. It's so brutally deep.
And so they're moving around, and I'm just like, yeah, you'll see. I'm just like, what in the blaze, right?
Yeah, and American Airlines trying to like save the world's forests and geodesic domes.
You're giving a backstory now. So we're gonna show a scene. Are you allowed to show a scene if it's muted of them moving?
No, I might even someday they might be like this concept art, bro. Like
no,
you really should have just.
Okay, so honestly, we should pause and see if you can quickly go and look for a 30-second clip on these things moving around.
You can find the documentary.
Yeah, or just mute it.
I'll tell you where you can find it. Like that's fine. Like
and then let them go look at it, and then I want people to say no, not they don't know how it happened.
Yeah, but you should watch the movie first.
Can they just watch a clip of them moving around? I want trivia.
We're using the honor system, and
well, no fun. If you want to try and figure it out, you should watch a clip from that and wonder how they're made.
You should watch the whole movie first. Yeah, this is it. This
is a spoiler.
Documentary, science fiction spoiler documentary. So please
pretty much
watch the movie first. Silent Running. You can find it almost anywhere on the internet if you try. But this documentary, I'll put it in the Discord right now. Also, that seems like a word.
But there's a lot of connections to what other films this guy's worked on.
Videos.
Right.
Well, okay. So the reason also
sell it. I mean,
hold on. All right, Discord app, guys. It's in videos now. If you want that file, okay. Nope. All right.
Don't watch the whole movie now. Hang out for a little bit.
Just hold it together. But the thing with the movie is that the guy who worked on 2001: A Space Odyssey to do all the props said in 2001: A Space Odyssey they couldn't use Saturn because the rings would be too complicated to use for millions of dollars, etc. And then he makes this movie for like $1 million and like in other words, a microscopic fraction of the budget, where it's all about going to Saturn, and Saturn looks perfect. I don't know if you can see an example.
It's got the guy from the movie The Burbs.
I mean, this is the way Saturn could have looked in 2001: A Space Odyssey for a while.
Another cell.
Yeah.
I wish we could show a clip of it too.
Yeah, no.
Can you show a preview for a movie? Is it because you're like selling it?
They still might get upset.
Why?
Yeah,
you're like promoting a movie. It's like a preview they showed on television.
Babylon system. But we could watch it together in the Discord, and that's starting to happen soon. So the other thing I want to talk about as quickly as possible, because I know nobody cares about me, is Cray computers. Look, the most important supercomputer in the world is a Cray computer. That's that's an important thing.
I think we just heard one there for a second.
I just want people to know the truth.
Look at this like Turbo Gear.
Can you see this thing? It's liquid cooled. This is the first liquid cooled computer made of like arsenic, gallium arsenic. I mean, it's just there's nothing like it. There's nothing. Actually, everything's exciting. Like liquid cooling. Everything comes from this.
That's why I said this reminds me of nuclear reactors. When you were showing me this, I'm like, this reminds me of like nuclear reactors because they were showing the bottom part. Wasn't that this and the weaving?
Totally.
That's a different thing.
Come on, no, this is it. See more.
What was the weaving stuff?
Oh, we're getting there. We're gonna get there. You're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So who is?
It's kind of like.
Who made this computer?
It's kind of cool.
Who made the Cray? Who was Cray enough to make the Cray computer? It was a guy named Seymour Cray, and he lived in Chippewa Falls for a while.
Seymour Cray?
Yeah, Seymour Cray.
His predecessor?
He's Dat Cray.
Seymour.
He's Seymour Cray.
With a B?
Yeah.
Butts?
No.
Would that be the predecessor?
No,
BC?
you would not, because Cray is the last name.
Fine.
That does not how that works.
Yeah, so is Butts. Okay. Keep going.
You fail. Anyway, so the Cray computer, eventually they went to the Twin Cities of Minnesota. That's right. And these ladies had to build the computer because these computers were handmade and they needed to like wire them together, but there were like 1 million wires. So these women would stitch the computers together. I wish you could hear them say it because they're just like, what was it like? We had to do this. I can't even do it. Can you do a Minnesota accent for me?
Oh my God.
Tell us what it sounds like.
No way, man.
We had to get these wires, and we had to.
It's too difficult. No way.
A million wires. So many wires there.
Don't
we took all the wires and. So we had to crochet the whole machine together there, and it was.
Oh, yeah, it's Irish. It's more Irish than northern Minnesotans.
It's like Irish influence is everything. It's in the Jamaican accent. It's in the Minnesota accent. It's everywhere. All right.
I know that. I hear it.
The Cray research is a super huge deal. I don't know how to emphasize that point more, but you can actually watch this whole documentary.
Yeah, these women are pretty legit though. But it was almost like slave labor or something because they came in and they said you have to get
thousands of wires,
thousands of these done today somehow, and I'm like, well, in between my I'm not gonna even.
We got to about 500 a day.
Or so.
And then they were like, before these women
Anyway.
came here, a computer took like
God bless
6
them.
months to debug after they built it, and now they could do it without debugging it. It was perfect because they figured out how to have 0 errors. Because you usually had to go back and figure out what cables you soldered wrong, but they figured out how to not do that because they'd already known how to do weaving and crochet.
But isn't that learned from the Native Americans?
God only knows. I
The
mean, I'm
weaving,
sure Vikings wove too. I think women.
Actually, whatever, Native peoples. Every Native peoples across the world, we wove.
Yeah.
And their weavings looked like, very intricate. And then coding.
Well, that's the thing. The word coding comes from weaving. Weaving and coding
Correct.
are the same thing. A coded weaving.
Yes.
So here's a weaving program.
But then it's like even down to the barcode scans that you have now in the Scantrons. That's like the language that you were showing.
But in other words,
The
women
font, right?
were in charge of remembering the most important part of all of this. This is what all of it comes back to.
Okay, so that's the computer, but then also this, right? So not beyond coding, they had
Hold on,
letters.
show it. I can't even show
I'm showing it to you. The barcode, just the code. This is
Okay.
not like I don't
Right,
know. If
right,
this
the
is
QR
different
code,
than.
a
Well, I
QR
can't
code.
show it. I don't have a live.
Yeah, you do. Oh yeah, you can't
It's
see.
delayed.
Just
It's
put it
like
in front of the
1,000
camera.
Okay,
and
well
don't
you see it. You know a barcode. Whoa. We don't want to have another.
barcode. There you go. QR.
Whoa. There's like a.
QR.
Is that a fly on my shoulder? Oh my gosh! It's
don't think so.
delayed. Yes, there was.
Must have been a long time ago. But anyway, so I didn't see it, but there is a sky weaving program
great.
pattern. That the start of this was, of course, tartan weavers in Scotland. The women were using the same programs they were using to weave tartans, and they figured out how to program them so you could mass manufacture them in the 19th century. And from there, you had the beginning of computerized modern textile programs. But this is 19th century, the beginning of the punch card systems. So
That's
going back
nuts.
further, obviously we have programs that people have from thousands of years earlier.
I wonder if they could just scan that with their eyes and then be like, and they could just call their friends that way or something.
Maybe somebody. I mean, look at the
It's
Japanese
like programmed with
1890
their
here.
pineal gland
Mm.
before.
Yeah, and the
bad things
wheels, the
happened.
spinning wheels are all automated, mechanical. So in other words, you got a pump in your house, and you're able to do. So there's something to it, I would say. I don't know if I'm too far from my mic. I don't know.
Would they be like hand pumping that all day and night for free energy? That's why you gotta have a bunch of
You
kids.
could have it run on water.
I was
It's
thinking
just
about
if you
that. I'm
don't-
like, I know, but let's say there's none. And what if you just have like a machine that has water that it just keeps running? It's like a perpetual motor, but you have your kids like do. It just keeps maybe that's so many
Seems like
kids.
slave labor, but I don't know.
Not if you have like 20 kids.
Even then, that would just be mass slave labor. I guess it's just a statistic.
It's
If you have
not
a
if
million
it's
kids.
one motor you have to run for the whole house.
Should we do the Napoleon went to Cannibal to Majesty? Let's do it.
That's not even. That's the older kids work 1 to 2 hours a day. The
All
young
right.
kids are gonna have. Okay, sorry. I don't want to.
If you ever have 20 kids,
I don't want to do
they
that.
work together.
I'm thinking about.
It takes a village.
Okay, so the last time we spoke, we were talking about kinetic energy. I'm gonna rationalize this because I'm not a psychopath. So
Allegedly.
and storing energy
Okay.
and having like a bicycle. So if I wanted to go exercise right now, I'd be like, oh, I want to exercise. I'm not motivated. I'm like, but if I could go do a bicycle and watch a video and zone out, and I could also store that energy and save money, then I would. Which there's definitely
did you
harms.
just-
There's definitely harms in that. I've done a whole
Are you talking
study
about?
on the harms.
Are you talking
in
about the child?
That.
The child is this energy storer.
No, I'm talking about me as a
Okay.
person.
No, but if you have kids.
Last time we talked and Nathan was here, I was trying to get to this point of can you store, kinetic energy
In a child.
So, no,
Yeah. It's
not in a
alchemy.
child. I'm saying, at my house, if I have a generator and I have it hooked up to a bike, like you say you can do. You can just refine anything. You can have a bike. You can swim in a pool. Okay, so
People
explain
that
it to
don't
me.
have
I
like a
want to
margarita,
know how it works.
If you don't have a margarita blender on your Vitamix bicycle, then you're missing out on life.
So anyway, in the future, that's a bad idea. I'm not promoting it. I think people would be like, "Oh, I can save $100. I'm going to go run a marathon on my treadmill."
Okay, so now I
Storing
understand
that
what you're
energy,
saying. Okay, here's the
correct.
problem with that: is the caloric intake is more expensive than it's worth for
you
menial
could
spinning.
train a
labor.
robot to
You
run
could-
on a treadmill.
You could put a pump in water. There's a lot of better ways to get energy. The thing is, though, with humans, they do have specific kinds of memory, and so do chimpanzees and everything else, that you could figure out what would be the correct task that you could get the most value for your caloric intake. And that'd be the reason.
That's why that mall, when they would take people's steps walking,
right?
Wherever that was. This is like 2 years ago we talked about this, but they were walking in the mall and they stored their steps for energy. Yeah. I'm like, dude, that's smart. If all malls did that, that's like every step someone's taking or anywhere. Or also storing the energy of the noise from a volcano. So if you're talking about using frequencies for anything, can you store the frequency of eruption or / explosion then use that energy?
Is this picture popping up for you yet?
No, it's like delayed. There's probably been a flight. I'm not even gonna look at it again. I'll get the giggles.
That's it right here. Okay. This is the bicycle charging telephone USB station in whichever. Word. Is it Nantes? It's in Paris. I don't know.
What does it take? Oh my gosh! If that's someone's 25 minutes, this is like the like the answer to WALL-E. Yeah. So in WALL-E, like let's say these people get to zoom in on themselves and like talk and do their stuff. Well, if you want to have that for free and your free foods or whatever, you gotta
but the problem
program
is
them that
I did
way.
This once,
but they don't want that.
And the problem is like in America, the American French fry steak sandwich is like €5, right? Which is so you have to imagine the amount of money it takes to get the energy to charge the phone by bicycling.
Yeah, I get it. It's not resourceful. I'm just saying I need something to motivate me to work out in the wintertime, and I no longer can go on a treadmill since learning that like there's child trafficking and read a Cosmopolitan. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to go on a bicycle. It's like, okay, and it's friggin' cold. So I have an app that's like really cool.
Right. So in other words, the only way to study more is to bicycle. Exercise. I hear you saying.
I used to love running and now I'm like running and it's like I could probably, instead of running for an hour, I could probably use this time better researching.
By bicycling?
Well, no, researching. Or something else. Like I feel like there's always, I don't know, maybe I'll just go for a run. But I want motivation, so that's all I ask. Let's move on. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
It would be nice to motivate physical activity without it being some complete like hijacking of, spying on me.
It's just weird how it's always like the monarchies of Europe or like fascist dictatorships that are introducing these really awesome, utopian energy solutions that get you
what about
back
like
on
if you're in a
track
good mood, like in Monsters Inc., like you could store that good energy as a person instead of the company taking it from like making your kids laugh. What if like I'm happy and I'm taking a microdose, and so every day I'm like, ooh, I'm happy, and that energy could be stored.
I mean
that's dangerous too.
Beautiful thought, I guess. But anyway. I mean, the gestalt of the red light it really gets me. I don't know. So I'm gonna read this article from Big Think.
Could do anything
because I love me some Dumas.
Sorry.
All right.
We watched that other show, so that made me think we could do anything. We'll get back there later.
As I was a kid, I always thought it was really funny that there was the Three Musketeers. They're always adorable, and that they were written by a guy named Dumas. You know what I mean? Like he was a real Dumas or something like that. And I thought that was there's no way around Dumas. That. And then there's Balzac, right? There's literally a dude named Balzac, and he's a great author too. And it's like, well, whoa, dude, Brittany's being attacked by some sort of a giant.
No, you are. It's a box elder bug. Don't kill it.
Oh, bad karma, bro.
You didn't kill it.
Did I?
No, he did not. It landed.
I just
it's the same one that landed.
He knows he doesn't want to hang out here anymore,
though. He's like, you could slow-mo zoom the dodge. I saw it coming. That's because he landed on the string of the fan. It's a box elder bug, if you know what those are. Oh, I don't know if they exist everywhere. That's a good question.
Dude,
because evidently certain bugs exist in certain states.
Who
like
needs
stink
Napoleon
bugs.
When we have box elder
stink bugs don't exist here, but they exist in Maryland and probably all of what?
Yeah,
you bugs die out. They don't exist in the West Coast. It's interesting. Just East Coast or what?
Bugs have brief lives.
What if we carried one here? We didn't. We made sure.
Because it wouldn't matter. Because then they would die now.
What if it's super bred? Because it's like crazy bug.
Wintertime, they're going to die out.
Like algae on a boat, you got to be careful.
What's weird is these bugs can handle hanging on over the
winter.
That
is not. Please zoom out. I've never thought of a box elder bugs looking like that.
That's what they look like, dude.
I know up close. I don't.
They're big.
No, they're not that big.
Dude, for us.
Oh my gosh.
From California, you'd be like, that's a
from
huge
California.
Bug. Yeah, it's a big bug.
The spiders and stuff. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to get into debate.
Spiders not a bug.
Oh, they have red eyes.
That's
I never even looked.
Against spiders because they're not bugs.
Do they all have red eyes, or is that the Flash? I don't even want to think about it. The camera Flash.
Oh, I thought you meant Ezra
No,
Miller.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
I stopped you.
Wait. That's. But Napoleon, dude, like, let's do it. Unfazed by his first defeat, Napoleon swept back into power in 1815, going from exile to emperor within a single month. Parisian newspapers scrambled to adapt at the start of the month. Napoleon was a cannibal at the end, His Majesty. Let me read that again. At the start of the month, Napoleon was a cannibal. At the end, it was His Majesty.
Okay.
For the first time ever, the maps illustrate the spatial dimension of that shift. But the anecdote made by famous Dumas, it's fun to do it, has a twist. And look at this great picture, too.
Okay.
It almost looks like
So,
it was AI.
cannibal. Let's start there.
Yeah, dude.
As it does say in the title, which I didn't see.
Right.
And he's definitely not being literal. It's like the ravaging of like
Sure.
things.
I mean,
I get it,
dude,
but
Dumas wrote like French metaphor. Okay, look at the Three Musketeers.
I feel like eating the minds of. But some people say Napoleon did not.
I don't know if he was Hannibal, Napoleon, Lecter kind of thing. But the Three Musketeers story is clearly allegorical and true at the same time. You have these characters.
Wait, what are their names? D'Artagnan?
Didn't he also do Count of Monte Cristo too? Right?
Wait. What are the names of the Three Musketeers? Are they HD and all? Like, what are they? No. They're defending the kings.
There's a plot names, characters.
I've seen it.
Athos, Porthos, Aramis, D'Artagnan. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Athos,
Wow.
Porthos. Porthos is the name of the dog from Enterprise. You know, fun fact. I don't know. So anyway, the Musketeers. But the thing is, he also did. What is it out?
That's Kiefer Sutherland too.
Dumas,
not think tank, but that's Kiefer Sutherland and Chris O'Donnell.
Dumas looked like he's just
Robin.
this big old boy. He's just he's like, you know, and he's having a good old
I
time.
want to look at that sink. I wish this was Think Tank almost.
Which one do you want to look at?
No, not just. I'm babbling about movies.
Did he do Count? I'm trying to remember if he did Count of Monte Cristo. Did he do Count?
That?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
know.
He did
No
Count of Monte
way.
Cristo.
I
Yeah.
was gonna ask that.
So that's the thing. Count of Monte Cristo is like Christopher Columbus. Columbus is in a tower. No one knows
That's
this
nuts.
or cares.
No. What?
Christopher
No.
Columbus.
What if it's also like?
Marco
That'd be
Polo.
interesting if it was. I should such as. He had a brother.
I don't know.
And he had it because it's twin brother story. No.
Yeah. So there's the.
Oh, that's the other one.
There's
That's
the
Iron Mask.
There's
story.
the Iron
Sorry.
Mask is what you're thinking.
No, I'm thinking of Monte Cristo, where he goes to prison for crime he didn't. Is that right?
Yeah, he goes to prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Is that a spoiler?
But the man was it the
I
man
actually read that.
Prince in Iron Mask? What the heck is that one called? The Man in the Iron Mask, King Louis XIV.
I totally forgot I read that. That's the book the first book I read after reading Anne Frank.
Hey, look, The Man in the Iron Mask has been the
Anne
subject of
Frank.
many short fictions, most prominently by Alexander Dumas. There you go. So
Another one?
Yeah, it is.
It's just, you can tell.
It is. So Dumas is all over all of this stuff. Dude.
Wow.
And these are
I had
like
no idea.
These are all my favorite.
I
but
thought that
is
right when I heard Three Musketeers, I'm like, I wonder if that's who wrote the Count of Monte Cristo. And then I heard this, and I was like, wait a minute, that reminds me of The Man in the Iron Mask, which I thought was like Shakespeare because Leonardo DiCaprio's in it.
Right. Well, that was great. That was good. But these were all my favorite.
I told you they were synced.
These were all my favorite, but now I think it's probably because I'm just kind of a trite person. Because these are the ones that Disney made the movies about, right? Because Dumas is the Disney.
No, I read
every single one of these.
There was a movie.
A
movie I watched in 8th
this?
grade that was based on Sleepers. They talked about the Count of Monte Cristo. Crisco. Is it Crisco? Count of Monte Cristo.
Cristo, not Crisco.
Not Crisco oil.
Are you serious?
I said it right the first time.
Anyway, Kevin Bacon in The Sleepers,
Cristo.
1996, legal crime drama.
I talked about this movie. You will not watch it. Remember.
Am I supposed to
Anyway,
say Count?
This movie I watched in 8th grade, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with that, Sleepers. Are you serious? Okay.
No.
All right. That's all right. Anyway, hold on. Let me do this before I forget. Marco Polo was arrested and put in a tower.
That might not be the movie either.
Marco Polo was arrested and put in a tower wrongfully. And so Marco Polo is probably the character from The Count of Monte Cristo.
Cristo.
Yeah, Cristo is Marco Polo. And there's a whole thing with Christopher Columbus's connection to Marco Polo as well.
Cristo Columbus?
Christopher Columbus might have been the father of Marco Polo. Isn't that fun?
I don't know about that. I need to see some evidence.
Marco Polo, Tartar outfit, print from 18th century. That's the first thing you see when you Marco
Isn't
Polo
it ironic?
Wikipedia.
You have the game where we hear you, we can't see you, Marco.
Yeah.
Hearing kids play that all the time. Still today.
Rather odd. Okay, can we do is there more? Was there more to the Monte Cristo thing that you wanted, or can I
No, I just
go
remember
back to
reading
the
it when I was
article?
young, and I was like, "This is horrifying." But then I finally started reading again because I stopped reading after I read The Diary of Anne Frank because I was required reading, and I was like, "Well, that's the most horrible thing I've ever read."
Dude, I wanted to get a ballpoint pen from that generation, but it was hard. So anyway, the big thing in the French history, the period from March 1st to March 20th, 1815, is known as Le Voix des Anguilles. I think Lavoie the Angel, something like that. Lyle. All right, the Isle. The Flight of the Eagle. The Eagle, of course, is Napoleon, the diminutive Corsican, whose political and military genius had propelled him to become Emperor of France at 19 years old and conqueror of much of Europe. But at the start of 1815, Napoleon's glory days were behind him. Defeated by a coalition of European powers, he had been exiled to Elba, a small island off the Italian coast, in France. The monarchy had been restored. On the throne sat a brother of the king who had been executed in 1789. It was almost as if the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars had never happened. That state of affairs proved insufferable to Napoleon, who could not content himself with ruling over Elba. And on February 26th, which is also, there's the 11-day thing there, right? With a small band of loyal soldiers, he set sail in France for Le Inconstant, a brig disguised as a British ship. Just after noon on March 1st, Napoleon landed at Gulf 1, and this is when he began his taking over of the province and getting his royal legions. After Napoleon and his army reached Grenoble in a mere 6 days, having made it this far, Napoleon grew more confident of his gamble. And yes, this is our whole backstory. Basically, is the Napoleon Wars happened not because of Napoleon, but because of Robespierre and Saint-Just. And all of a sudden, there's this the Waterloo battle, and the Waterloo battle changes everything. For just about 100 days, on June 18th, he suffered his final defeat at Waterloo. 4 days later, he abdicated on July 8th. Louis the 18th regained his throne. Sorry. So this is the beginning of when Dumas starts to enter the period of writing about it, and he published a travelogue and started changing the way people looked at Napoleon, because the first paper said that the paper was hostile to Napoleon, and they decided they didn't like that, and they were, you had to decide to change what you were saying about Napoleon from being the cannibal to majesty, and the cannibal has come out of his lair, the Corsican ogre has landed in the Gulf 1, the tiger has arrived at the Gap, the monster has spent the night at Grenoble, the tyrant has crossed Lyon, the usurper was seen 60 leagues from the capital, Bonaparte is advancing with great strides, but will never enter Paris. Napoleon will be below our ramparts tomorrow. So there's a lot of, obvious propaganda from the royals saying that Napoleon won't win. He's a monster. He's a cannibal. And then very quickly he becomes, the Napoleon crown. It's an interesting picture.
I know there's books being written about if Napoleon existed or not.
Right. I mean, so Walter Bosley's got a good thing on that too. But here he is in the painting. I don't know if it's loaded on your screen yet. Of the Pope. He goes to get his crown put on by the Pope, and he takes the crown from the Pope's hands and puts it on his own head. He's like, I can do it. And that's the...
Wow.
So there's all of these stories, these very Disney stories about Napoleon that are, hey, man, I crowned myself. I can do what I want. It's very Julius Caesar, kicked into high gear kind of a thing. I don't know. That was my Napoleon thing.
Yeah.
Halloween tree? Should we go there, or should we? I wanted to do.
I was going to talk about favorite Halloween movies.
We should. I did want to say. I guess there's nothing.
People probably want to ask you, what is your favorite Halloween movie, Andreas?
Let me dodge the question by saying Robbie Coltrane from Hagrid's best BBC series is Cracker.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to say that.
Not that I know what that is, but like, I didn't know if it was Cracker, if they were.
It was a British crime drama. No, it's not.
Code Cracker.
Get your mind out of the gutter. Yes, Code Cracker. There you go. So Cracker's a British crime drama series, and he's a criminal psychologist set in Manchester. I don't know. I don't really care. I just wanted to say that was a better show. If you're gonna look for something that Hagrid guy was in, he's 72 years old and he did a lot of serious work. So it wasn't just that he played a freaking giant dwarf or whatever in like a kids show. All right.
Kids.
Child goats. Anyway, Xi Jinping posed for unprecedented third term. Did you hear this? Did you know about this?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, I have a better article on this somewhere.
Oh boy.
His speech opens in China Communist Party. Congress president says China will continue to oppose Taiwan independences in address, launching week-long event that is likely to grant him third term. So, seems crazy. Seems amazing.
Sounds like what happened in Minnesota.
It's like he's riding the dream.
Can I say that?
What happened in Minnesota?
Just our governor. He kept extending his term and term.
Who did? What's his
name?
And
now I think he's running. Governor Walz. It's like declared emergency in the state of Minnesota. George Floyd happened. Emergency.
Oh, really?
I'm here again. Biden happened, Trump happened, COVID happened. I'm here.
On the 19th?
I think. According to my parents. I don't follow politics, but I hear what they
see. George Wallace. George Wallace is a.
I can't.
Is that the
Waltz?
Waltz. Okay.
Governor Waltz.
I was like
WALTZ.
George Wallace
And he may be great. I have
1968.
no idea. I cannot speak on it.
Tim Waltz?
Yes.
No, Tim Waltz.
Just Governor Waltz of Minnesota. Is he not anymore?
Governor
Anyway,
of
whatever.
Minnesota.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not even his name. See how in tune I am to my own politics right now.
Governor of Minnesota. It must be, right? Is that his name? Yeah, Tim Waltz. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, his
Scary-looking
news
guy.
terms, like whatever you can look up on him, but
From Cadron State University. Okay, Cadron.
anyway, he got to stay longer and keep doing extensions.
That's
so-
clever. Farmer Labor Party. Okay.
What does that say? Okay, whatever. Anyway, we don't need to go into it. That was like the opposite of why I said that. I was just trying to relate to what you were talking about before.
It's interesting. I mean,
Which
so
was-
China's different in the sense that they've gotten rid of all the other. Was it not different?
It's very different. Very different.
Objectively, China's. gotten rid of
I'm
their
saying my little
opposition.
mayor is definitely very different than what you're saying.
Mayor, governor.
Governor, sorry. Oh my God.
But okay, so they're going
all
to
right.
oppose Taiwan independence. That's the big push. He's running on the line of oppose Taiwan independence, which of course China's down for, PRC's down for. They don't really need the Taiwan going around and being itself, you know. So they'll probably vote him in again. Taiwan said, Xi said, we have resolutely waged a major struggle against separatism and interference, demonstrating our strong determination and ability to safeguard state sovereignty and territorial integrity, and impose Taiwan independence. The gathered delegates responded with loud applause. So, I mean, we're likely to see this happen again. What do you think about?
This is a good thing?
I don't know, because like all these
I
other
don't
countries have
live there.
these long-term dictators.
I don't know. Do
He's
you have friends that are there that are?
Yeah, a lot of people.
What are their opinions?
I mean, it's complicated. How would you feel about if you lived in if Trump didn't have the opposition he had, right? Or if Obama did, regardless, how would you feel if someone told you about the president of the United States from another country and how their international policy? It's complicated.
I'll tell you a funny story. When I actually was a brainwashed end of my stint of liberalism after college, didn't last that too long, but it was when Trump was running and I was on vacation. I ran into people from Canada who were asking about Trump, and they're like, "I don't. Your conservatives are not the same as our conservatives. They're like flipped here, but so we're conservative, but not like that kind." And I was like, "Oh," because at the time I was liberal. I was like, "Thank goodness." So I just like spewed about Trump, but I had also talked about who was it in Canada? The crack, whatever.
Oh,
their
Mayor Ford.
Mayor, which is what I was thinking of when I was talking about my governor.
Yeah.
At the same time, so anyway, Canada had told me, and I was like, I remember thinking, how peculiar. What are the politics in Canada at that time? But I was so like,
Did you see Ryan Long's Mayor of
Tom
Canada thing
said,
recently?
whatever. And then I totally, that was a while ago.
Ryan Long
2015,
just did a video the other day. I wish I could find it.
Anyway, there was a point. Don't get too far off topic like I did. I was just trying to say Canada. That's what I heard about my country from another country and their politics, because they were weighing in on it. Or they wanted to hear what I thought, because they had their opinion on Trump. And I don't think it was the same as probably what I thought.
But his Ryan Long's
time.
Man on the Street video recently was talking about Trudeau, who is the mayor of Canada.
Can you show that?
I mean,
The
I can
mayor
show
of
you that
Canada?
it exists, you know.
The mayor
Yeah.
is okay. So it's.
I can tell you where you can go to ryanlongcomedy.com/man on the street.
Oh,
You can
bummer.
do it.
I want to watch it. I haven't seen it. So no, I haven't seen it.
I
But
can
will
tell you
watch
that
it
every
later.
time he posts a video, it posts into
Your Discord?
the Discord.
Sweet.
So you can watch
I will
his
go check
videos.
it out.
I can do my best.
That's
I
awesome.
can only show you the door.
I know.
All right. So Mayor Ford, he did do crack.
No, to get off of that, we weren't even talking
I
about
don't
that.
know. You brought it up.
No, that's
what you
probably like a
wanted to talk about.
conspiracy.
Baizhao is the liberal anachronism and pejorative used by ideologists in the East, in China, to describe the social justice warriors of the West. They actually refer to
Hold on.
Westerners who are, these espoused leftist ideologically.
Baizhao? Like
Baizhao.
Bizhao?
Baizhao. It means Paisao. It's a white left. No, that's what it sounds like.
Like Bizhao, but
No.
Baizhao.
It's like
Baizhao.
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 Baizhao. I think it's like that.
Baizhao.
Because there's like a rise, and this matters because there's like sounds that are inflection.
Why didn't you play it? Can you do that? Is there?
I never trust those YouTube videos. They're never
no, not a YouTube video. The one that's like play the audio.
Bye
now. Bye. No, I'm done. I'm done. I won't do it again.
Yeah, because
sorry, it's offensive.
Because you're just doing it wrong. Just do it right. The term Baizhao is related to the term Shemgu, which is Holy Mother. So literally Holy Mother, a reference to those whose political opinions are perceived as being overly driven by emotion. So he's a holy mother.
That's funny. So that's the white left is literally.
Well, I mean, this is the way, and this is on TV. They'll talk about how the white left in America, but the Baizhao, it doesn't really mean white per se. I mean, I guess it does. It's more to do with like the West left, I think. But yeah, maybe. I mean,
I think we were talking about though. We got it from Cracker. Which wasn't even about any of this, no?
No.
Did we cover that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I totally threw you off.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
Oh, we're going back to China. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got lost there.
No, this is China. And so China's afraid of the Baizhaos because they're the white left ideologically.
In China.
Well, progressivism.
Or they're talking about Americans.
Progressivism and Atlanticism is seen as an instigative and it likes to interact and it demands playing on its rules, and China doesn't want to do it that way. And so
are they colored? Are they white left? Are they, instead of like the blue left, are they like the white left? Or are they white people?
No. I mean, it's more to do.
It's about people in China that are white left.
No. They're talking about the West. They're talking about Americans.
Okay.
They're talking about Americans.
Legit.
They're talking about Americans, and they're saying that Americans that are all. They're talking about Democrats in America.
This is kind of like watching a story about two. Remember the? Sorry, I'll go there later. But two transgender when they're saying they, and it's only one of them, and you don't know if it's two people or one person.
If you're not used to plurality or gender neutral, it's similar, I guess. But okay,
so
China has a term to describe the left and the West, and they call it Baizhao, and they don't like the West.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sure your audience knows that. I do not.
I don't know if everyone does, but it's important.
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
So I apologize.
Because they exist, so they're saying, hey, we don't want people interfering with our affairs. We don't care if it's for social just means or war or reasons. Stay out of it. And also, the idea is interesting because. When we're talking about, how do we deal with China, and we say, oh, China's got these human rights violations, allegedly, right, or something. What are we gonna do about it if it's true or not? Like, well, if it's you got to
child traffic.
Do you investigate it? Do you or who does? Like, do you send a third party? How? And then when you do that, what's the justice? Do you stop whatever? What do you do? Who does it? Are you going in and are you changing it? Why? And so it gets really confusing because we're saying we have to interfere with the policies of these states. So China's saying the most important thing right now is to make sure nobody interferes with our decisions, China's decisions. China will make its own decisions. And interestingly enough, we will make decisions for anybody we deem as China. And so that's the beginning of that. And so
who do they deem as China right now? Who are they claiming?
Clearly Taiwan.
And they're saying that they will make their decisions.
But the thing is, it's so much bigger because the entire South China Sea could
so how are
quickly
is Taiwanese split right now then? Or the majority want to stay Taiwan?
The majority China. The majority want to stay Taiwan, but there are people that get paid enough to make it worth trading. So it's like Texas
and California.
There are
back
values.
In the day, staying separate.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper to live in parts of China than it is to live in parts of Hong Kong still, and parts of and Hong Kong is starting to become more Chinese. Tainan and all these parts of Taiwan, they've always been different, and so it's expensive in certain ways compared to. But at the other hand, it's better for a lot of people because they have opportunities that they wouldn't have elsewhere, and they can turn down things that they couldn't turn down elsewhere. But is China really what we say it is? Is it so much worse than us? That's as soon as you say that, it's not true, right? So,
but really, how do the people feel in Ukraine? Just kidding.
Actually, we'll get there. I have a thing on Ukraine.
I don't know anybody from Ukraine. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos.
Well, I've got at least a few videos
praying for the Ukrainians, but like
I want to get us canceled first. Let me talk about the pop star MIA, and we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
So this is the reason I was like, I don't even really need to make a video, but I feel like we have to make a video because this is so.
You might get canceled for.
It annoyed me so.
About somebody for getting canceled for defending somebody that got canceled.
Yeah, right.
It's like a trifecta.
Echo chamber. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Don't apologize.
That's just crazy.
Exactly. Don't
this
apologize.
is messed up, and somebody could do a report on us talking about. This and they'll be the fourth person, and then they'll get canceled.
They'll get canceled for canceling. The cancel.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Cancel culture. Whoa. It's culture. Cancel. I like that noise. You know that noise? You know that noise?
It reminds me of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I knew this guy who used to work on computers back in the early 90s, and whenever he did, he'd make this noise that was like... I can't even do it. It's like...
While he worked on computers?
And I realized eventually it was because he could... Because we worked on a really old computer.
The guy made the noise?
Yeah, because the stepper motor for the floppy disk would make that noise. So it was like...
So why did he make the noise?
Because he could talk in floppy disk.
No.
Dude, no, it was like...
No.
You know, like the horse whisperers?
No.
Dude,
what, he would talk to the disk and be like, now you're going to work.
he would think about it and know what it was doing. Because it's kind of like counting cards, like his ones and zeros. Yeah, dude, he was a savant.
Maybe you and he could talk to the disk.
I can't do it.
But maybe that, or he like had a throat issue. A sore throat.
No. Yeah, maybe. No, he was just...
How long were you around him for?
Often.
How many times?
Many a day. Many a day spent working on computers. Anyway, pop star MIA dropped from the GQ Awards after tweet defending our friend Alex Jones, who some of you call a shill and others call, I
have a picture with Alex Jones.
Right. Or is it Bill
Hicks?
I
look familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everyone gets all weirded out about it, and I say, you know what?
I used to come on your YouTube videos all the time.
If you don't get what a guy like
about fluoride, I couldn't tell him. Sorry. If Alex Jones ever watched
people
this,
call
thank you for teaching me about fluoride.
Right, exactly.
For real. In the 90s. But I didn't learn about it until I was like 33. And he taught about it in the 90s, and then he went a little crazy. But before that, for real, InfoWars, before Alex Jones was bought out, is the most amazing thing. He talked about glyphosate. He talked about Monsanto. He talked about the guy who stayed quiet, even though I told him. Anyway, I'm done tooting Alex Jones's horn.
Anyway, so the point being that he did all these wonderful things, and if you don't get why a guy who's under like duress with like a proverbial gun behind his back telling him he has to say things or else they're gonna, not just to him but everyone around him, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, you don't get what it's like to be.
You should just say he's Bill Hicks and then start over. That'd be great.
I've been telling him. I don't know.
Somebody.
But yeah, so if you don't get it, it's sad, and he's not a bad guy. But what was the deal?
I can't say if he's a good or bad guy. That's what I want to be on.
If he was a bad guy, he would have gone down.
He taught me about things, and I changed the way I ate, and I changed the way I taught my students.
If he was a bad guy, he would have self-destructed way harder, and he would have destroyed him. He would have destroyed everything for everyone. And because he did what he had to do, I think he's not a bad guy because he's at least sticking his neck out for other people by keeping things going.
Yeah, true. I believe that there's something now. If other people are getting canceled, he's doing it on his own. Also, the mustache. If anybody's followed Alex Jones, I have to say this is my one opportunity. If anybody finds it or has it on the Discord, it's the Mike Adams mustache video with the mockery of the milk, those milk ads. And it was the best thing ever. I showed it to my students.
Javier, do you get it yet?
Showed it to my students.
Do you get what we're talking about? Like why people have to do what they do? Right. I don't think you get why people do what they have to do if you're saying that. That's the point. Like it's like living in a system that doesn't. You can't ignore the system that's existing. All right, like it's here, it's now.
So maybe that was after, but like, yeah.
And it's not just him; it's all the lives of everyone around him. I don't think anyone really.
Yeah, anyway,
gets that
I'm not. All I'm saying is that whatever I saw in the early times.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to read the article.
Yeah, moving on.
Pop singer MIA has been dropped from GQ magazine's upcoming Men of the Year award after defending controversial radio host Alex Jones and suggesting that celebrities pushing vaccines should pay damages. MIA responded by saying that the magazine staff don't have balls. The British singer shared a message from GQ on Twitter on Friday in which one of the magazine editors canceled her appearance at the award that night. As well as an upcoming photo shoot. The decision to drop the singer was made due to the controversial nature of her current Twitter activity. The message explained. The paper-playing singer was dismissive. You print words for a living. She responded, "How do you judge a man of the year when you don't even have balls?" So here it says, "Hey Amanda, sadly I have some bad news in regards to the GQ award and our upcoming photo shoot. MIA's current Twitter activity was brought to our attention, and due to its controversial nature, GQ will have to step back from working with MIA in regards to our GQ Men of the Year award. Sorry for the bad news on Friday afternoon. Let me know when you want to speak. Let me know when you want to speak about it on the phone. Best, Dom." So, and it was all because of this tweet. If Alex Jones pays for lying, not even in parentheses, right? Shouldn't every celebrity pushing vaccines pay too? And
oh, snap.
Of course, that's a quote.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna get in trouble.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, totally. I follow 237
I thought you. I go. Was
people
she
max.
ambiguous? Were they
Yeah,
ambiguous about what they said about vaccines? Was it like one way or the other? Clearly, holy F.
And she gets under fire a lot, like because
she's done. Did she not realize I was going to cancel her?
You don't understand. Like she's bigger than people realize.
I like him.
MIA is not just like some pop star from LA. She's they consider like a British rapper, but really she's from Sri Lanka, and her connections to Sri Lanka. Now people have said that she's an act like. They've connected her to terrorism, and she.
Okay, well.
I mean, but she refuses it. She says she's never been involved with terrorism, and it's interesting when you think about what that means.
Who is connected her to terrorism?
Terrorists, MIA terrorism. Let's look.
No, like the mainstream media.
Yeah, mainstream media.
Okay.
The Guardian. I don't support terrorism and never have. The Guardian article. So this is worth starting here. British rap star speaks out.
Bananas.
That's
bananas.
Well, she uses the symbols of the tiger, which is connected to killing the innocent who've been wrongfully killed, right? And so there's a number of symbols in Sri Lanka that have to do with the tiger, civilian refugees, the Tamil Tiger Group. And it's not an endorsement in them, but a celebration of the violent organization that her father was once involved with. And that's the other thing, her father was involved with this Sri Lankan
so that's maybe what people were talking about.
Because she uses the symbol and she's got a lot of money and the whole thing like that. But the thing is, what do we really understand about this?
So she was using it to attack...
or maybe to defend, or maybe not. Who knows? Like, really, to be frank, we're not sure exactly. But we do know that the father of MIA, Aru
But if
Lapu,
she thinks that vaccines are lying, or people are lying about vaccines, does she think that Alex Jones is lying or being honest about what he's doing?
I mean, I think people forget.
That's so great. That's like on
trying to play
several levels.
I mean, it just proves the point. It proves the point that they're trying to play the game, and
it's a good statement because it's.
The optics are so important to this because if she says this on Twitter, right? She says what she's not supposed to say.
What does she think about Sandy Hook?
It doesn't even matter.
It does matter to me.
No, the point.
I want to see what she said about it. If she's gonna, I'm just kidding. I don't
you really do want to cause trouble for the show, don't you?
No, I'm teasing.
That's
I'm teasing.
Worse.
I'm just making it's a joke
about
Alex Jones.
Idea about what she thinks. Okay.
I'm joking.
MIA saying this and it being the reason, and this isn't that big of a deal. This is a small quote. Her getting taken down for this quote is a big deal. The idea that they're going to cancel everybody now who it's just become an optics thing. If you're not reading from their script, it becomes immediately clear.
Yeah.
And here's a cue. Okay, this person's not reading from the script anymore.
Then what do we say about Rogan, who does sometimes read from script, and sometimes all of a sudden Eddie Bravo comes on and talks about Tartary.
Oh man,
and red bricks. And
why
energy.
is it so hard for people? Why don't you play the game? You can only play the game so much, which is why I have such low views.
They only do little stuff there.
That's why they don't.
Sorry, I just had to say that because that's awesome.
These videos should all say 19,000
Eddie Bravo
views.
also talked about some stuff like FE on Joe Rogan's show, and also educational stuff.
Eddie Bravo just talked about Tartary on Joe Rogan.
I know, that's what I just said right now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you.
There's a Daft Punk song, and it goes, "Why don't you play the game?" And the reason they say it over and over again, "Why don't you play the game?" is because they've taken their Palladian light spirits' souls and trapped them inside of these meat bag suits in order to make music for this Rockefellian record label. But it's the point that we're making here. If you want to play the game, you got to play the game a little bit.
If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle and a band.
And something like that. So yeah, it's weird when people are like, "Oh man, that person's not playing the game all the way."
You would not probably get that. I don't think
it rhymed.
You're not a big country fan, and he does not have.
I didn't think it was a rap song.
Andreas has no idea.
It didn't sound like a rap song.
What song that is? If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle. Sorry.
All right.
People in your audience may know. And they'd be like, "Whoa, oh yeah, I suppose Santa Cruz."
Let's set up like a
one day we can talk about country music from the 90s and 2000s that Santa Cruz was fortunate enough to not be exposed to. Well, you had other stuff.
All right,
like
well, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do right now?
UB40 in the 80s and the early 80s.
You know what I shouldn't do and I'm going to do right now? I'm going to talk about Ezra Miller.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh yeah, we can do it. I'm excited.
Really? Oh,
yes, I was the one that broke the case.
So, okay.
I'm just kidding.
What if everything you know about Ezra Miller is wrong?
I questioned him, like, if both sides don't like him. That's usually
what if everything you know is wrong?
That some of these stories, we'll see. He might be a total freak and a horrible person.
I don't know. Like, Base AF is going to be critical of this point.
I don't know.
Okay,
but
address.
I still inquiring minds want to know details about when you hear anything about in the media, just about arrest or whatever it is. Look a little further to see.
Can we see that video? Is that a video we're allowed to watch?
Are you asking me? Are you serious?
I'm thinking to myself.
I ask every video.
Oh man! So
Like
here's the deal: when Ezra Miller gets arrested, and he refers to himself as non-binary, it is not as.
Can we watch that?
It is a brilliant.
Oh.
It is a brilliant evasion.
I was like props
of non-binary cops.
Like he doesn't.
Because
really
by saying it, I'm transgender. Let me see if I can pull this.
You should read. Oh, could you show them? So that's
I'm
also what I was talking about.
I'm gonna mute
They
it.
have a reread of the audio of this article about him and the young lady that everybody's talking about. He took, and they both are non-binary, so they're both referred to as they, and you never know if they're talking about he took both of them,
right,
or they were by themselves somewhere,
right,
which is huge to understanding what happened.
Philosophically, anecdotal, legally, it's huge.
It's like the who's, what, where thing is minimal.
Right.
When you have a story like this in real life, and I was like, wait a minute, rewind that. What are they saying? I'm like, no, not them. Like the TV show about that person.
Right. So here's the thing. So one of the things is he refers to he meets some guy who was like racist and said he wanted to hurt him and his people, essentially. And from there, he says he was assaulted in a bar for NFT
N-word,
crypto
but
art.
Not,
because he filmed himself. He filmed himself doing something and called it an NFT crypto art. And then
that was the last part when they'd say.
No, he spit on a guy, apparently.
Oh, he said that was
art? On like a white power guy or something.
Okay.
Like some horrible guy who was mean to him.
There was
he
a
spit
Nazi
on him.
group, and he said they identified. He had told them to stop.
Yeah.
They were okay. He was singing karaoke. They got into a little verbal altercation.
Yeah.
He did not mean to spit on him, he said.
Which
I actually just heard a very similar story, a personal story.
He was drunk in a bar.
So anyway,
he's like
regardless,
a teenager. I don't know the whole story.
And he was outside of the bar talking to these people, and then he had it all recorded. Anyway.
But yeah, there's no, they don't have evidence, so that's an important thing
to say. But he says, what did he say about not being arrested?
He says, I was assaulted a few minutes ago, because he was, and there is evidence of that. And he says, I was complying with you, and they said you weren't. He said, I am, but you're referring to me in the wrong gender, and you've got male police touching me, which is like I'm being unlawfully persecuted for a crime I did not commit of no designation, disorderly conduct being something I'm unguilty of, and I claim my Fourth Amendment rights to be not searched and seized on a probable cause. I mean, to be, and then, to offer in a court of law, I claim my Fourth Amendment rights to be unlawfully, hey, you just touched my, phallus. I'm transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man.
Yeah, he was straight to the point, and he was not being a dick. He was actually being polite.
I mean, it's an intense situation because, like, they literally could, in the Midwest or something, like, you could get disappeared. It's not impossible, and so he wants to film everything. This
is the funniest part. Did you talk about taking a toy gun? That's there. He saw it. So he's like, "Please don't take that."
Yeah, he's a cute
that's my toy. He goes, "That's my toy. That's my Nerf gun.
That's my toy.
I love it." He's like, "I love that. Please don't take that."
Yeah,
and I was like, relatable.
So,
but anyway,
intentional bigotry.
He says sorry.
So all I'm saying
I'm not
is,
I'm a transgender.
Oh, and make sure this camera's on.
This.
Wait, this is great. This part here. So at this point, his hands are cuffed. He can't film himself. So he says, it's my religious right to be filmed at all times. And so he uses his religious right. Don't touch me. It's all sacred religious material. Okay. It's illegal in any capacity. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't touch. It's for my religion, Judaism. So he ended up.
So do you have to claim Judaism? Was my question to Andreas about this.
I'm pretty sure Andreas, you could use any recognized religion. Can you use
like I'm a Scientologist? Do not touch me. Not that I am.
Do Scientologists believe that?
Can you say they do? Can you find something?
I don't know if it's a lie. You shouldn't lie. But here's the thing.
Can you find something in the biblical text?
What he's saying is true. In his religion, he shouldn't be touched because they're not part of his religion. They're not part of his.
So they're only allowed to. Oh, that's right. That's why they can't date non.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's correct in what he says.
They can't date the goy.
It's like, again, this is not a philosophical, spiritual point. This is a legal point. What he's doing is brilliant. This is a legal point that works.
So, and the other things he was arrested for, one was taking a passport, and it was interesting because it was like,
oh, that was, okay,
why would he take a passport? He's going to use it? I'm pretty sure he can get a passport. He's rich. He has his own passport. He's not going to. But I think
don't just jump into the middle of the story, Brittany. Start it at the beginning. What happened with the story?
I don't think people care. I want to get him to the good part.
No, this is huge.
He's arrested like all these times because I heard from somebody that he was a terrible dude allegedly, and I was like, well, that doesn't. The first thing I think of when someone's terrible on any show is like, wait a minute, what did they do? Let's find out.
Who did they piss off in Hollywood? What? No, I think who did they piss off?
Who did they piss off, or what are they trying to expose?
Who did this
are they trying to expose pedophilia because they get
Who did this
They're
homosexual
done.
actor possibly not have sex with? Who's a producer who's now trying to destroy his career? Right? There's a lot of levels to Hollywood.
He is not homosexual.
Well, didn't he describe himself as he's non-binary LGBTQ? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know.
Somebody had thought that what's her name, Nava?
Dakota Iron Eyes.
Oh, Iron Eyes. Okay.
We didn't even get to the passport. Sorry,
Nobody cares about this. I don't think.
Yeah, there's a million things though that are not true. The passport story is not what you think it is. The Dakota Iron Star. Look, first thing I'm going to do is Dakota Iron.
Guess who? Can we just get to the point though and be like, guess who called instead of leading up to it?
No, we're leading up to that. No,
okay.
I want to do it correctly. So here's the deal. First thing we're going to do though is this girl that you're all hearing about Ezra with is Dakota Iron Eyes, and the first picture you're going to find of her is with Greta Thunberg. So the connection's there, first off. Now, is it her fault? That's the next thing. Is it because of her choices that she ended up friends with Greta Thunberg?
It's not your fault.
Well, who is her...
Look how young Greta is there. Was this recent?
This is
Greta looks like she's 4.
This is the pipeline thing.
That's 2012.
No.
2012 is the pipeline. Yeah.
Okay, that's the point, because this was a long time ago. And she's
2012.
She's 19 now, right?
This is also when he met her. He was also at the same event. That was the first time he met her.
So he went to the pipeline event.
Yes, correct.
Because
he's Native. Is he not Native American at all?
Probably, pipeline.
Yeah.
Let's go there in a second.
He looks Native, I would think. If he's not, regardless, he was supporting the cause.
Let me see if I have an Ezra Miller pipeline. Is that the way we find the pictures? But so he goes to a big event where there's a ton of people at the pipeline. Was it. He's supporting the pipeline thing because he's like, hey, And so everyone at the time was upset, and there's all these celebrities that were... here's the Aquaman and him making the Illuminati triangle for the power sign at the pipeline.
Like, fuck you guys. Oh, sorry, probably my language, but that's what they're saying. Dude, right. Don't tell me. I don't know.
It happens. All right.
Maybe not. Maybe they're both with the bed. To me, I don't know.
These are reasonable questions.
Jason is staying to himself. He looked like all he does is throw axes with his children around.
Okay, but who's Dakota? Let's get back to who's Dakota. Yeah. So,
Correct. Iron
Eyes Dakota, and this comes up because...
I have a theory. I'll tell you my theory when you're done.
Well, I mean, the thing is, maybe more important than who she is who her parents are. Because her dad is the attorney involved with the George Floyd protest. So, let's see.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Chase Iron Eyes. Here you go. Native American Oglala tribe, and then there's a huge thing.
Me that part.
Well, because they were trying to say that this happens all the time, and so they created they have a Native American BLM kind of adjacent group.
I bet you they're dissociated. I would hope. I don't know.
Attorney advocate for Native American civil rights. He served as a staff attorney for the Lakota People's Law Project, the LP. What?
I don't see that. Fast. It said something about the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, okay.
A minute ago.
In 2012,
that's a minute delayed.
In 2012, Iron Eyes filed a civil suit in the federal court on behalf of Vern Traversy, a blind 69-year-old Dakota man, against a South Dakota hospital. The lawsuit alleged a violation of Traversy's civil rights, citing scars that Traversy said were from doctors carving the initials of the KKK into his abdomen during a heart surgery.
Ooh, what?
The hospial stated the marks were a reaction to surgical tape. Into that. And in 2015, the jury ruled against Traversy.
Okay, that's already we don't know. We don't have time. I would do a deep dive and be like, how in the hell did it happen during the surgery?
God only knows, though.
Anyway, I know I don't want to. I'm curious, but there's a lot to get to here, so just not right now.
I got a peek. I mean,
no.
All right.
Do it. Fine. Dr. Carved, yeah, do it. Who's possessed? That sounds like MK Ultra mind control.
Yeah.
Managerial type candidate phone call.
That's some wild stuff.
It's a ace of spades.
So yes, instrumental in raising awareness of the Pace Law, a high mountain prairie situated in the heart of the Black Hills, and Native Nation Rebuilders Program, Bush Foundation's Native Nation Rebuilders Program, and member of the Democratic Party election to represent North Dakota. Yeah, I don't know if is it
what. He's Native National Republican? So he's a member of both?
No, to represent the House of Representatives for the Democratic Party.
And he's also part of the Bush. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was the Bush Foundation.
It said Republican. Native National Republic. Oh, Rebuilding. I can't see. I'm a minute behind. I can't do this.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna close my
stop.
computer.
Stop. Don't do that. Bush Foundation was created in 1953 by Archibald Granville Bush, an American businessman primarily involved with 3M. Okay, so there's a different Bush.
Any
Archibald
relation?
Bush.
Archibald Bush isn't related to George.
I don't see any relation to the other Bush family, but there could easily,
Okay.
move to Duluth. The weirder thing is the Minnesota connection. Like, why is everything always?
I thought we were in Minnesota's research right now.
Why are Cray computers from Minnesota?
No, stop. You already did that.
I know, but
don't do it again.
It's just so weird.
You're on a different path.
Okay.
Get back to.
All right, yeah, no. So anyway, Ezra Miller then goes to meet this girl who had met him once at at this event. And, from
No.
there...
I don't even think he went to meet her. I think she, left her family to go meet him.
Right.
After the first time because she wanted to get away. It was, bad. And they had... I don't know if they were pen pals or she was like, do you remember me from then?
I mean, pen pals...
Or he came back. There's no evidence.
They texted on the internet.
Not much.
She probably texted on the internet with him because he's more famous than her. And
Anywho, so let's find out how the parents who hired him or asked him to take care of their daughter. Remember that part of it? Signed her away to be taken care of by Ezra for the weekend, or they okayed her to go before she was 18 or something?
The parents sent her to
or was that when she was already 18? So at this point, that was convoluted.
But that's the whole Michael Jackson thing.
So then she's 18.
No, I don't think
he's there with his housemate. Get to that part. What happens then?
I mean, so here's the thing is that she freaked out at college on her own and was
possibly
taking drugs and stuff.
Who knows?
According to her.
So anyway, yes.
According to her, she committed self-bodily harm.
But then she called him and was staying there.
Yeah, because a friend of hers died.
And guess what? She was incoherent for a couple days, and Ezra called the girl's parents.
Right, try to get her
help. So to me, that's a red flag that if you're a celebrity and you're calling this girl's parents to say, hey, yeah, she took something we didn't know what it was, it seems like, and he was trying to help her for real. Maybe he met her in 2012. I don't even care about any of this crap we're talking about, other than the fact that if someone's being smeared, it's usually because they're trying to expose something. I just think, whatever. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe
know nothing about this.
Issued a temporary restraining order of protection against Miller on behalf of 18-year-old Dakota Ironside. So she's already old enough, but so then they have a tribal reason they wanted to, because her parents requested the court order because they said that Miller was violent, intimidating.
So
all
anyway, if you heard this all from the outside, you'd think he sounded like a pedophile, robber.
That's what I first thought.
So he sounds canceled, he should be canceled, or you might hear
true,
the liberals like him. I don't know.
No, I've
any side likes
never
him.
Heard of a liberal.
So if nobody
him.
likes somebody and he's been smeared by all the press, that's when you should probably look at the court cases, like the Mel Gibson. I don't know what happened there. Tim Allen got kind of smeared.
Right.
Randy Quaid, I know, was deleted.
And what are they?
A crazy brother.
What are they trying to do with Dakota Iron Eyes? What are they trying to do to this kid? That
anyway,
they don't want
I don't
Ezra Miller
care
to stop
about
from
Hollywood
happening.
though. So don't think that I care just because I'm talking about this, about the media. It's more of an MK Ultra breakdown of what the F is going on, to where they care enough to smear it. Is it a slow news week? But do they want to cancel Flash? I don't know. Do they want?
Dude, everybody's trying to cancel Flash. It's this horrible thing,
and
then
he
they
wasn't
won't do
that
it.
bad.
The thing is, because of how none of this actually happened, and it's all just been a bunch of conflated nonsense.
They shouldn't cancel it. It's really.
Him.
But then people are up in arms, what? How could you not cancel it? Probably especially conservatives who get canceled.
But
the
left
Tim Allen,
CNN,
everybody.
Look at CNN, even though the Star seeking treatment, mental issues. They don't make him look very great.
Oh, then they called him in for MK Ultra. Remember that? He was taking a retreat. Yeah. So it was total Britney Spears, thought he was going to have a shaved head.
Right.
Anyway.
And they have him doing April 19th. They have him doing a bunch of stuff with...
What?
Yeah. They have him doing a bunch of stuff with, the reshooting and stuff like that. But there's just so many layers to this story, and who the passport was for, and what Dakota Iron.
That's why I was wondering if it was for that girl. Maybe she's trying to escape abusive parents. She's 18. They're
Is it
psycho.
Possible that she's an
They're
MK
connected with
Ultra
some
kid in the
possibly
Native
bad
American
kids,
reservation? I mean,
or not, or he could be a creepy pedo that is has been grooming that child. Can I
That's
say
it's a pretty weird idea. I don't know.
That's what they're presenting it as.
That's literally. There you go.
So.
Anyway, she's 19 and they're friends still?
I don't know if they were ever friends.
That's
it sounds
the
like
thing.
they
It
met
sounds
and
like
she was like, oh my gosh, I met that guy at that tribal thing and now he's famous.
Yeah, and you try to get her back to the parents. Right. Okay.
Who knows? I have no idea at all. So do not take Did you play the disclaimer? Anything I say is a joke. I don't mean it. This is a parody show, just like Vice.
I forgot to.
That was a joke.
I forgot to do.
I don't believe anything I said.
The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of YouTube, Google, or Alphabet, or any of their
Brittany.
parent Alphabet agencies, or Brittany herself, or me,
Thank you.
or you.
Yeah, even your comments. They
Think
don't
for
mean
yourself,
anything.
and should not necessarily be viewed by anybody, but are safe enough to be viewed by anybody if the advertisement censor's looking in. Anyway, so there's that. Unpacking the allegations against him. It's all a bunch of look into it deeper.
Anyway, yeah, you look into it on your own now that nobody needs to. Hopefully we covered it enough.
Can I do one more InfoWars because it'll be fun? Bill Maher says, get this. What did Bill Maher say? He said that COVID overreaction caused huge learning and loss and inflation, not the pandemic itself. So...
Who caused the COVID overreaction? Hold on a second.
Chill out a bit.
Oh, me? Really? On that? I start with the origin calmly.
Bill Maher went on a tear
down.
about the COVID pandemic itself didn't cause massive learning losses and historic inflation. Rather, the way we handled the pandemic did. Okay, so you should have done better. That's the deal. All right. I thought we overreacted to COVID. Now we're getting some information. After a while, we have time to find out just how bad the collateral damage has been, Maher began. Here, excuse me.
I'll tell you overreacted. What's his name? The other Bill. No, the guy that made that comedy video. Keep going with Bill Maher. We'll get there later.
Here are just a few cases. The pandemic erased 2 decades of progress in math and reading.
Wrong. Incorrect.
See, right away I've got
parents
to say.
that got to... sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, that's all right.
But if you got to homeschool your parents and you did a good job, your children will be at way higher levels, I can say, because that's what happened. You're like, what? You're doing this in math? We're doing division already at the dinner table.
Yeah, which is kind of a dick move, though.
No wonder you're bored in school.
I should not have tried to teach Quentin long division at 5
continue.
years old
Keep going, though, with this.
But he knows it.
Anyway, no.
He knows long division.
It was also reading everything else. When there's a pandemic and you teach your kids, if you're...
Oh, you know what you should do if you have kids?
The pandemic made kids more stupid. They needed more school.
1,000 words in
Thank goodness we got to see what our kids were learning about. That's the only reason anybody knows about what's going on with the new curriculum. They're out.
These videos, if you're, let's say Russian,
They're
but let's
bringing
pick
it
another language that's more acceptable. Let's say Spanish. I don't know, Spanish. If you're going to learn 1,000 Spanish words and, if you do this, like just have them strobe across the screen in front of kids for an hour or 2 hours while something else is going on. Because in the background, then Fantastico, Alcoholico, Basico,
or if they watch
Generico.
Dora.
No, don't
I'm
waste.
just kidding.
Don't waste their time.
Calm down.
If you want to do that, fine. But like the thing is,
I'm not saying use Dora
kids
to use
should
Spanish,
be slightly
but anyway,
more
math
miserable.
and reading are important.
I think that's the biggest problem. Kids are not miserable enough because the parents are like, "Oh, the world's so hard. I want to make sure that the kids have a good time. Let them watch Dora the Explorer."
No, I'm not
make
saying
them watch
that.
1,000 words for 2 hours, flash in front of the screen like Clockwork Orange.
I would never.
So they
I'm
can
not going to do
memorize
that though. I will immerse my kids probably in like the environment. Maybe go to Spain.
Sure,
for a
that's
month.
way more expensive during a lockdown. And here's
not during the
a
lockdown,
YouTube
but
video
that's. I know. I'm just saying.
This works better anyway. And
that would be the new schools.
Your kid's not going to hear 1,000 words and see them in front of their face in Spain. It makes
that could
way
be part of
more
the curriculum in
sense
school, though,
to
for
put
sure.
the
So your
video-
parents aren't forcing it. I would say incorporate that in the curriculum of the school for sure that they go to. So you're not like saying on a Saturday you're going to do this now all day, child.
I didn't say all day. 20 minutes to an hour.
I thought you said 2 hours.
Well, I was showing this video. But you should
then
show them 1,000 words in 20 minutes to an hour.
I would say that would be really
too.
good to incorporate in new schools.
Yeah, you gotta
and have it part of a
but
planned
you don't need
agenda, not just a random
You don't need school. You need parents to make sure their kids watch the videos, and then maybe.
But if you're going to have a
teachers to
school,
help
it
them
should
do
be
homework.
incorporated. Yeah, or tutors, or parents doing their own schooling. You're saying.
I'm just saying YouTube videos of 1,000 words a minute or whatever.
But what should they learn if they have to go to school?
School sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
not
So
for smart people.
this in place of school.
What school should be done?
If
you're gonna keep school,
I agree.
If you're going to keep school at all, you should have libraries. The school should be inherited by the libraries. People should get to go to the libraries. There should all the machine shops and the pools and things. Libraries should have pools. Libraries should have machine shops.
Yeah.
And then so that would be the big experience. Is everyone can go to the school, and then when they're there, people will help you.
The parents, or you have to have teachers. Continue, sorry.
And when you're there, people will help you do your work that you had a hard time with doing at home. So if you are doing homework, you're watching videos at home, and you don't understand something, or you need advice on what to learn, you go to the library.
Homework from where, though?
From home, and you get to school, and school will be the library. And
so homework was given to you by your parents. I'm just trying to understand it. Your parents give you homework that you have to do that's like on math?
It should be, the reading, writing, arithmetic,
that
philosophy.
Comes from your parents?
No, it could come from YouTube. All of the academic studies are important.
I'm just wondering where that would come from if they had homework. The
library, for one thing, would have like a certain amount of minimum proficiency for people that want to become helpers at the library. So everyone who reaches that level is capable of helping out in the library, has achieved. That's all it really would require.
Okay, I'm just wondering because we're talking about educational systems, kind of, and how that would work.
So instead of at school, they give you homework to do at home. The homework you get at home, you bring to school to have a teacher help you with.
So your parents have to be teaching you it.
No.
And giving it to you. Oh, you'd be self-learned. Automation. You're thinking future world.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay,
Humans
I get it.
Useless.
I get it.
And they should be replaced.
You have to explain the basic part of that so I understand what you're talking about.
Teddy Ruxpin is better than Mother.
So the foundation of Andreas' school theory would be that it would be an automated system, essentially. Thank you. Let's start over. So everything you say, yes, I agree.
You can still have humans, though, because humans are like the soft part of the machine that coddles the child.
Unless you take away like the society we have where parents have to work, parents can't teach. You saw with COVID that parents couldn't. So that's what Bill Maher's talking about. So I can't argue because I'm thinking probably the majority of parents failed and the education went to shit. Or, pardon my expression. But if you were a parent that was like excited and eager and I was a teacher for 11 years. So it was like, whoa, now I'm really paying attention to what my kids are doing every day.
Right.
And I know when my son is bored. I already stuck up for him before that. It was first grade. So, I mean, it's the first chance I had, which is why I was trying to create new schools. But anyway, parents got to see that for the first time. So some parents woke up and other parents were like, I'm just not going to do it. Teachers' jobs are so hard. My kid, nah, So.
Hala a la puerta para abrirla. See? Pull the door open.
But if my kids are never going to travel, or if maybe I want them to learn, German.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I mean, the thing is, you just show the kid 1,000 words of 7 languages one day a week, all week long, and you do it over again for 9 weeks, and they're going to basically know how to speak.
So that's one way.
Yeah, no, I mean, you should do that by 7 years old. If your kid hasn't done that by 7 years old, you've
kind
of wasted.
Neuralinks and uploads that they're going to be able to have.
You wasted opportunities.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, your brain still is going to have a problem with elasticity after 7 years old.
I'm just trying to keep up to your level.
Yeah, but the thing is immerse a child in as much data as possible, as early as possible, so the symbols are there, and then they're in there ingrained deeply. So then they can start to figure out what they mean.
And give them a ball and let them go play, because we do that too, and that's important.
Ball of
yarn. I play dodgeball. No.
Ball of yarn.
Let them play for fun, not for competition, just for fun. A jump rope, a pogo stick. My daughter loves a pogo stick. Like, that's also important. So let them surf if you're in California. No?
Yeah, but I'm still thinking about the Aztec human sacrifice soccer. Okay, so and then India test fires ballistic missile from nuke submarine. In case you didn't know. Did you know this? India has nuclear submarines.
And note, that conversation is closed.
Right.
Do we close it down? Finished?
Did you want more?
We're good. No, I'm good.
Okay. Nuclear submarines, please. India test fires ballistic missile from nuclear submarine. INS Arihant. The missile was tested to predetermined range, and it impacted the large area in the Bay of Bengal with high accuracy, validating all operational and technological parameters, it said. Yeah. No big deal.
Well, I think... What is a nuclear warhead?
I mean, it's just interesting.
Do we have the videos?
India's been allied with...
Were the videos filmed on location in studio?
Oh, wait. Let's do Ukraine. At least you've heard of that one. So, Eva K. Bartlett.
I haven't heard of nuclear warheads.
No, India's... What do you care about India's international policy? You know what I mean? So, do you? No. So Eva
I don't know. Is it something to be modeled that we can learn from?
Maybe, but it's still in.
Then I would care about it.
It's still connected to Russia, right? So India is choosing to not be part.
When I first got on the path of truth, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
I didn't know you were going to talk about it. I respect Russia. That's all I was going to say. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that Russia is the reason why India has a nuclear submarine test right now, because they're trying to point out that they can be nuclear capable, which means they can sit at the table. That's what it has to do with.
Yeah, a nuclear submarine that's run off of nuclear power, not launching nuclear bombs at anybody. It's interesting how people's brains function.
But it's more relevant. More relevant to the point is the Eva K. Bartlett post. Like this is actually the second issue that we could get in trouble for. Is that the list real? If you're okay.
Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can try to say this clearly and okay.
Wow.
Elon Musk tweeted back. I have it here to this whole thread. But the Ukraine kill list, as they're referring to it, as clearly as possible. And so...
I thought he was talking about nuclear bombs.
Well, Ukraine has sites and persons on a list that are to be annihilated, including 327 children.
Really?
Right.
327.
Musk added to the Ukraine's Miro Torvets kill list, which includes 327 children. I've been speaking and writing about this list for years, but after being placed on it in 2019... Now that Musk is on it after Roger Waters and others, perhaps the Peacemaker list might itself be killed. Well, this is interesting, and so Musk weighed in.
Waters?
Is this real? What's the URL?
Sorry, Roger Waters is Peacemaker?
I guess.
Isn't he known for being anti-Semitic?
I think you're... What?
Never mind.
Is he?
No, I won't talk about it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There was
Skip
that
it.
whole thing with...
Anyway,
I think
skip it.
that was a complete misquote.
Okay.
As a not understanding.
Right.
Again, I think we've covered that also. It's
Continue
just,
then.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But is this list real? The list is real. No ideas if you're on here, though. Can't find an archive of it. Are the citizens of nations who are helping Ukraine on the list? You seriously haven't heard of that list before? Anyone with enough exposure and who states anything that annoys these guys gets his spot on it. And after they're killed, they add the watermark liquidated on their pick. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, the idea of the kill list is, let's see. Here, kill list. This...
Don't talk about the kill list.
Elon Musk expressed concerns over a controversial website that lists supposed enemies of Kyiv amid claims that his own name briefly appeared on the Miro Torvets following his threat to cut funding to Starlink satellite internet services actively used by the Ukrainians, which is in and of itself kind of a misnomer because what he said was, Pentagon, can you start paying for your military project because you're using my Starlink? And at this point, this is no longer to free Ukraine. This is just to support your international war. So... But he's still paying for it. Between a rock and a hard place. So I've been speaking and writing about this list for years. After being placed on it, you saw all this. Human rights activists have discovered the website features the personal details of 327 children, prompting Russian authorities
Elon
to
Musk
share their
discovers.
concerns.
Is that the title of the headline?
Is it?
Elon Musk discovers the Ukrainian killers.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a truther.
Well, so it's the Miro Vorets.
Oh Lord!
So
Elon Musk discovers the Ukraine kill list. He discovered it. Does he get credit for this?
Maybe.
That's hilarious. Is he hacking? So he's doing it on his own time.
Well, and there's a full on wiki for this. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. So the Miro Vorets. Miro Vorets.
Launched a
Punishing running lists and sometimes personal information of people who are considered by authors of the website to be enemies of Ukraine, or as the website itself states, whose actors have signs of criminal crimes against the national security of Ukraine, peace, human security, and the international law.
Sounds like the Muscovites.
And it was launched in December 2014 by Georgi Tuka. After the crisis. Very interesting. So, do you think this guy looked kind of like a little psyop-y kind of guy? Yeah. A little bit.
Just a tad.
He reminds me of Brian, actually. He's like, I just love working. I know, you know?
Okay, yeah, from a distance. He looks great here. He looks like he has some...
Tuka was deputy minister for the temporarily occupied territories.
Some dedication.
So he's like a false governor for the temporarily occupied territories of Kyiv before they got lost again. And now he runs a virtual reality website.
Can we look at just Zelensky for a little minute? Like that guy.
He's one of the little...
He's really... I cried. I was so mad. I teared up in that one episode. One of the episodes of that.
In the sitcom, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a funny sitcom.
No, there was one part and I was like, no way.
It's adorable.
You almost did. I don't know what episode it was.
Yeah.
His acting, yeah, I do highly recommend you watch this. Even though it's subtitled, it's great. It's hilarious. I laughed. I almost cried. when I almost shed a tear, I was like, "No way!
Don't you cry! Don't you
You're
cry!
not gonna get me! No, not for just. It was good writing. It was good.
Yeah, it's a great show.
They really tugged on my pretend heartstrings when I was like enough. I was watching it as a study piece, of course. Sometimes I get a little over involved in a study piece. And,
yeah, I know. He's a beautiful man. What do I say to that?
Anyway. Oh, he was good. I was such respect. I studied Cord Meyer a lot in his psyops for the CIA. So it was just so much
why did I look at
respect
that? I don't want to open that website. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. That was the website. It's not good. Don't go to the website.
Get out of there.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Do we have a virus now?
No, worse. Computer? It's like pictures of people you don't want to see dead and stuff. It's like, yeah,
what?
It's a Ukrainian. It's a horrible thing.
All right, it's not real.
I'm just trying to look up the Ukraine, and it's probably not real.
Not.
Let's hope. First off,
well,
because I don't know. I don't want that to be real, but it probably is because that's what they're saying. I don't know. Open source intelligence.
I was looking up some. Oh no, I wasn't. I was reading through one of those old Life magazines, and it showed the dead mayor from the hostage, or the dead judge. Inside pictures is the judge and the terrorist. I'm like, that's Life like magazine? The judge's face.
Life magazine has Sharon Tate.
Was it Life or was it the other one?
Time.
I don't remember.
Time and Life.
I
both
took
had
pictures
Sharon
of it.
Tate
I have so many.
Inside Out in this. It's like a crazy.
They had the Manson. Show. Yeah, that was weird.
The things that the TV thinks is okay to show. So I don't know. But,
I have a lot of magazines.
But yeah, like library. for your own. Be careful out there. Al Jazeera, because why not?
What are we still? We're just going in all the
moving
places
on.
that we're not supposed to.
We did our Ukraine thing. We talked about Eva K.
But there was no Ukraine thing.
Bartlett, and you can follow her on Twitter and follow her for a little while. We'll see how that goes. Huge fire at Iran's prison. Did you guys know about this? You hear about this? Iran has a prison outbreak after so many people were arrested, freaking out at a riot for a lady who died named Amini Massa, right? Or Massa Amini.
All right.
So they killed her. What was the deal? She wasn't wearing her hijab in accordance with the government standard, and they stated that.
So these are terrorists.
She had they stated that before transferring to the hospital, she had a heart attack at the police.
Okay, so then who are they saying?
Collapsed, fell into a coma.
Okay.
She was severely beaten, according to witnesses. Who? Well, the police brutality is a wiki link right afterwards.
So they're
which
trying
was
to blame
denied by
who?
Iranian authorities.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, if you read the whole sentence, you'll get the whole idea.
Yeah,
These assertions, in addition to leaked medical scans, led independent observers to believe Amini had a cerebral hemorrhage or stroke. Dang, was she recently vaccinated? I don't know. That's sad.
So, I don't know. Are they trying to start something?
So these people...
Described by CNN. Read that part. Did you read that part? Is described by CNN as the what? Protests? CNN? I don't know. I can't read what you're showing because it's
Amini's death.
Whatever.
No, it's just CNN. It's just all it was. Amini's death resulted in a series of protests described by CNN as more widespread than the protests in 2009, 2017, and 2019. And so, in other words, this was a bigger deal than the spring.
According to them.
Islamic Spring. So, the New York Times as the largest Iranian protest since at least 2009. And so that was the most important if you think of the Prague Spring. I'm sorry, the Arab Spring. Some female demonstrators removed their hijab or publicly cut their hair as acts of protest. By October 2022, Iran Human Rights reported that at least 201 people were killed by security forces, confronting protests across the country.
Jesus.
Amnesty International reported that Iranian security forces were, in some cases, firing into groups with live ammunition, and in other cases were killing protesters by beating them with batons.
They're just gonna send us.
Yeah, I mean, so...
Just gotta send them!
It's interesting, though, because the Arab Spring was supposed to be a bigger...
People?
They really pushed the idea of the Arab Spring being this is going to be the future, the youth of the Arabian intellect, the intelligentsia, these kids in college. They're going to show us the new Islam, which is the ancient Islam. And guess what? They're doing it. But this is exactly what happened in the Prague Spring, too. They don't like sophisticated, book-read hippies. They're not into it, and they're going to probably try to remove as many of them as possible and continue to have a military power over them.
There you go.
Anywhere, right? What do you think about the evolution of frogs in Chernobyl, Brittany? Yes or no?
And anywhere. Depends on the elements.
I don't have I have Chernobyl.
Only in Chernobyl?
That's all I got.
I don't know. Are they much bigger? Are they green? I don't know. That's great.
They turn black? Is that right? Let's see. The Chernobyl black frogs reveal evolution. Or is it the other way?
Evolution? Wouldn't that be a...
Mutation.
Yeah.
Mutation.
Evolution would be over time. This is like some event that happened. So that'd be a mutation.
No, evolution is just applied.
But a mutation.
Evolution is just applied mutation.
Applied?
Yeah.
Not learned or natural happenstance?
What's that called? Evolution, black moss, So the idea is that mutations happen in nature, and then if something's useful, then it will continue to happen. It's like, oh, dude, the black moth is so great here because all these trees burn down. So these like white cherry blossoms that we're all designed to look like, or at least we happen to look like, not useful. But this black moth, he's gonna survive in a fire because and so then the black moths emerge for a while, and then the white moths, they're selectively removed in nature because they stick out, right? And then eventually the trees start to grow back and there's white cherry blossoms. The black moths start to stop being selected in nature. The white moths return. That's applied adaptive mutation, right? And it's not that big of a deal because people do that too. We have different hair colors that change. We have spotted humans, that. It's like.
But they're trying to say that's what happened with monkeys over time. Whatever. Humans.
No, I mean, we're just talking about monkeys. We're just talking about frogs in
I'm
Chernobyl.
Just saying, I'm just talking about evolution, and I'm trying to understand if it was like a mutation that happened from something that. I was okay. Sorry, I'm looking too far into the definition of what you were asking.
I wouldn't go into that deep. I'm just talking
okay,
about.
So sorry.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. If you're like, hey,
sorry,
dude,
I am trying.
Did these frogs evolve from monkeys? No, but did they change color? Yes.
Because of something that was introduced to their environment that wasn't typically there, like a nuclear meltdown. Correct.
I mean, who knows? Probably, maybe not. Who cares? It's a thing that happened in Chernobyl.
In that area. Correct. Okay, so keep going.
They're going to say it is. I'm just headsing you up.
Oh.
You're probably right. Okay, so the accident reactor 4 at Chernobyl power plant.
What do you mean, right? That's what it's just to be assumed.
Yeah, I know. So the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in 1986 generated, spoiler alert, nuclear Chernobyl, largest release of radioactive material into the environment in human history. If you haven't seen the series yet, that's what happened. So the impact of the acute exposure of high doses of radiation was severe for the environment and human population. Actually, it's the best place in the world right now because lynxes they're running free and just smiling. But more than the 3 decades after the accident, Chernobyl has become one of the largest nature reserves in Europe. See, that's what I was trying to say there. A diverse range of endangered species finds refuge there today, including bears, wolves, and there they are, lynxes. Have you ever seen a lynx? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a cat but cooler.
Oh, lynx and bears and wolves.
I mean, it's like.
I've seen a lynx for the Minnesota Lynx. That's our.
Oh, that tracks.
WNBA.
Okay. Well, did you know that you should be the Chernobyl lynx? Well, no, maybe not. Chernobyl would be the sister city. So good job. All right. Radiation can damage the genetic material of living organisms and generate undesirable mutations. However, one of the most interesting research topics in Chernobyl is trying to detect if some species are actually adapting to live with radiation. As with other pollutants, radiation could be a very strong selective factor, favoring organisms with mechanisms that increase their survival in areas contaminated with radioactive substances.
Which would be different. Oh, there's so many levels of this because then you think about turning the frogs gay and the water, and so that's a biological impact, but the radiation is just like a whole other type of mechanism.
This article could also get us in trouble because it's even weirder than gay frogs. And and just leave it and don't even say it because it's actually that weird. I'm just gonna read it and you're gonna have to just be like, oh man. Okay. Melanin protected against radiation.
Skin color.
Black frogs. Melanin defended. Okay, so our work in Chernobyl nuclear. Just calm down. Okay, our work in Chernobyl started in 2016. That year, close to the damaged nuclear reactor, we Oklo, Gabon. That's crazy.
But skin color.
Melanin in frogs. Just relax.
The black frogs.
Yeah. So anyway, we detected several eastern tree frogs, Hyla orientalis, with an unusual black tint. This species normally has a bright green dorsal coloration, although occasionally darker individuals can be found. Melanin is responsible for the dark color of many organisms. What is less known is that this class of pigment can also reduce the negative effects of ultraviolet radiation. Although we have all heard this, actually. Anyway.
Yeah.
And its protective role can extend to ionization. Yeah, very white people with freckles and things like that have a harder time. Yeah. So the negative effects of ultraviolet radiation and its protective role can extend to ionizing radiation too, as it has been shown with fungi, right? And that's
I don't think about like frogs like a green frog. I don't think about like the sun is bad for him, but the sun is okay for the black frog.
Well, apparently, I mean, one thing that's interesting is it's probably they absorb heat more. A white frog would absorb heat less.
I'm talking about green. Green is less than black.
But green is also marched to the same tune as the rest of nature. So many of the plants in nature, so it can hide in nature. Makes the most sense to hide in the plants, right? And it's the color of the chlorophyll it's consuming too.
True.
But there's a lot of bright
now,
colored
if you're
blue
a black
frogs
frog, you're not not anymore. If you're a black frog, you do not.
There's a lot of dark plants in nature as well, actually. But melanin responsible for the dark coloration of many organisms. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Fungi. Melanin absorbs and dissipates parts of radiation energy in fungi. So the idea that radiation, I know this from studying Chernobyl, that mushrooms adapted to absorb radiation as energy. So they were actually thriving in the wintertime, right? Things like that. And that was a big deal. And there's places
Did
where
anybody eat the mushrooms and have like, any type of results? Did they get
there are people living in Chernobyl.
messed up? Were they psychedelic or were they like the edible? By the way, this is just one glass of wine I've had the whole time. So if I've been drinking it,
Good for you.
I don't want to seem like a lush. It's literally a Saturday and it was like up to there. So I just been taking little sips.
Usually you're supposed to not
Disclaimer.
talk about if this was the FCC.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, but if this is the FCC,
I thought I could have a glass.
So life in Chernobyl after tragedy, what happened to the people, how many people were affected. This isn't what I'm looking for. I wanted to find the article that showed you what you were talking about, which are people living in Chernobyl now, having cucumber farms and things. Like there's dudes that have
super huge cucumbers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the areas you'd think would be really radiated are not, because that's where all the food's been grown, and the food's doing really well there, and it's absorbed all the radiation. The radiation's gone.
You talk about Periscope videos. What I would want to do is see all the people that were in those videos when they were in like saying, "Go farm your own uranium," and so all these people went and dug out uranium during the uranium rush and wars, whatever you want to call it. And what happened to those people? If they're fine, that'd be great to study. And if anybody's tracked that, drop that in the Discord, because there's tons of videos of people. Sorry,
there's tons of studies of Russia and the idea of leukemia and lymphoma, and like there's a lot of
the instant blast.
It's really complicated to try to decide what specific Soviet crises of managerial theory caused which human disaster. Whether it was the poisoning of the river, whether it was the explosion of the dam, whether it was the mining facilities that they were working in, whether it was the factories that were bringing the stuff through, whether you lived in a town next to it and it had radiators that were stolen from Chernobyl after they shut down Chernobyl. After they shut down Chernobyl, they just made it a ghost town. People went back in, took all the radiators, and sold them through Russia. Okay, so if you had a radiated radiator and it really did cause some, who knows, problems, well, then how would you be sure that, because everyone in Russia had one at that point, or it's possible that you would. So, you know.
I think it's just easy. It should be easy enough to research it. Well, just to a certain extent, from even just what we knew about certain types of radiation.
A lot of the Russian,
what was at Chernobyl was identical to.
A lot of the Russian archives were written by hand by doctors, and so that's the other thing. They all be digitized, and to translate that, we're just now getting to the point where it's easy to translate, but Russian cursive is difficult. I mean, but you can get it. You can get the records, and they talk a lot about the disaster. And there's an increase, no matter what you say, in the 20th century of mutations, lymphoma, and leukemia all across Russia and Ukraine. And that is linked to a lot of things. It's not just linked to Chernobyl or Chernobyl's blast specifically.
Didn't have any chemical companies.
Pripyat has all kinds of chemical companies.
Swept through there.
Yeah, they're factory towns.
I'm just saying.
In addition, it can scavenge and neutralize ionized molecules inside the cell, such as reactive oxygen species. These actions make it less likely to individuals exposed to radiation will go on to suffer cell damage and increase their survival chances. The killer Chernobyl tree frogs, after detecting the first black frogs in 2016, we decided to study the role of the melanin coloration in Chernobyl wildlife. Between 2017 and 2019, we examined in detail the coloration of the eastern tree frogs in different areas of northern Ukraine. During these 3 years, we analyzed the dorsal skin coloration of more than 200 male frogs captured in 12 different breeding ponds. These localities were distributed along a wide gradient of radioactive contamination. They included some of the most radioactive areas of the planet, but also 4 sites outside the Chernobyl exclusion zone with a background radiation level used as controls. Our work reveals that Chernobyl tree frogs have a much darker coloration than frogs captured in control areas outside the zone. As we found out in 2016, some are pitch black. This coloration is not related to the levels of radiation that the frog experiences today, and that we can measure in all individuals. The dark coloration is typical of frogs from within or near the most contaminated areas at the time of the accident.
At the time of the accident, so you had to be there for the blast.
Yeah.
The after blast seems to have zero impact. I don't know. People that wear the bracelets with uranium, whatever. I haven't done enough research on specifically nuclear anything with uranium in existence, only just uranium being used for power.
Well, they're turning the frogs black. Anyway, evolutionary response in Chernobyl. The results of our studies
Is that
suggest...
so they can withstand something longer? Or
No,
what do you think?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Alex Jones, get me on your show. No, I was kidding.
Okay.
The results of our studies suggest that Chernobyl frogs could have undergone a process of rapid evolution in response to radiation. In this scenario, these frogs with dark coloration at the time of the accident, which normally represent a minority in the population, would have been favored by the protective action of melanin. The dark frogs would have survived the radiation better and reproduced more successfully.
What the heck is the lifespan of these frogs then? What? That's
don't know.
interesting. I
What
didn't
kind of-
think frogs live that long.
What kind of
Jesus.
If I type in Chernobyl frog, did it say what kind of frog it is? Or is it just
Yeah. I don't know. People maybe don't care at all about
tree
this.
frog lifespan?
But I want to.
Dude, if you don't care about a tree frog's
I want
lifespan,
to
you are
know.
heartless.
I love tree
you know?
frogs. I used to watch them eat little
15 to 16
flies.
years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But now I want to know, are Chernobyl frogs 12 or 19? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be 15. Could be 13 or 19.
It said during the time of the blast of Chernobyl, which is when they had to be
Chernobyl's
present.
82.
Yeah, so this can't be.
What can't be? Yeah, it can't.
So
Do
it's their
some-
descendants?
Yeah. Double. These are the grandkids. Actually, it could be. It doesn't have to be that way. It could. It doesn't. It's not
They
like
live
at the
longer
end,
because they're
it's not
black.
like at
Is
the-
that what they're trying to say?
it's not
Is
like at
that
the-
like the big kicker on this?
It's not like at the end of the frog's lifespan they breed. So it's more likely that this is many generations later. We don't know what. It's
These
probably,
must be descendants from the 80s frogs that were around for
well,
Chernobyl.
they did indeed prove this by doing a controlled study in non-affected zones, and so it was clear that these were where they found the.
And they're saying it's from the initial blast. How can they deduce that it wasn't from them that living thereafter?
well
and
because,
having it?
because they've measured.
But they didn't start studying. They studied in the 80s. Do
Right.
They have frogs in the
Yes.
80s.
Yes.
Okay. Where's
Right.
that data?
It's, you could
Go
look
back
it
to
up.
the 80s.
I don't-
Okay,
I
sorry.
don't have
That's
it
all I wanted to
here,
know.
but Yes.
I need data from the 80s.
Yes, they were
Good.
studying frogs in Pripyat in Ukraine. Yes.
Thank God.
Anyway.
Confirmed. It's legit.
All right, I can relax
Science.
now. I was worried they weren't studying the frogs. All right, so in the scenario, these frogs with darker coloration at the time of the accident, which normally represent minority in the population, have been found to favor the protection action of melanin. The frogs survived the radiation better and reproduced more successfully. More than 10 generations of frogs. See, we could have just read it and we would have had the answers. More than 10 generations of frogs have passed since the accident, and the classic, although very fast process of natural selection may explain why these dark frogs are now the dominant type for the species within the Chernobyl exclusion zone. The study of the Chernobyl black frogs constitute a first step towards better understanding the protective role of melanin in environments affected by radioactive contamination. In addition, it opens the door to promising applications in fields of diverse as nuclear waste management and space exploration. I mean, like Afrofuturism. Is there a meme? There should be. There's a group I like.
Afrofuturism is like going back to the past where you go under Africa and find all this crazy shite.
No. Afrofuturism is not Wakanda. Afrofuturism
Huge
is
power sources.
Lando Calrissian.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm for it. It's one of my favorite genres. You know what I mean? Anyway, we hope the current war in Ukraine.
That's
Wow, they've done
bananas.
that one too. Being denied voting rights is a form of civil death. Did we do the civil death thing yet?
What?
Did we talk about
I don't
this?
know. I think we've been talking forever. I thought you were talking about MIA and hoping that it's okay.
I got a couple more things I want to cover. So I don't know if we did civil death yet. Do you know what civil death is?
We have to could talk about upload, by the way. I don't know.
You can talk about upload, but I'm going to talk about civil death
Go
first.
ahead.
All right. So civil death is the loss of all or almost all civil rights by a person due to conviction for a felony or due to act by the government of a country that results in the loss of civil rights. So in other words, when they say you can't vote, right? If you've been arrested and you can't own a gun, you lose your civil rights. That is a form of civil death. I think it's an interesting.
So you can have a bunch of different civil deaths.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you can't.
I died
but it's
civilly
not,
today.
It's not like if they take your driver's license, because that's just a privilege. It has to be your rights. You know, your right to bear arms, your right to vote. You know, things like that. In fact,
So what are the big ones then? So
Well, voting-
I can't have a gun.
voting's a big
I don't
one.
get to vote, which doesn't matter in the first place. But yeah, I get that. It's the only thing that matters.
Well, but
But
it's
but
exactly
doesn't.
exactly. That's why it's interesting, because the idea of the social contract is so built around this idea. But then if they kill you, is there double jeopardy? Are you free to make your own decision again? So being denied voting rights is a form of civil death. It is time for our state and our nation to reverse this long, shameful, discriminatory history by fully restoring the vote to former felons who have completed their sentences and are back in our communities. Basically, these people are socially dead.
Okay.
They're not allowed to vote. They're not allowed to interact, right? So
can they make music on social media?
That would be better, Joe. Okay.
I'm just wondering.
No,
Can Hinckley Jr. vote?
Could who?
John, your buddy?
Hinckley? Oh, yeah.
Can he vote or not?
I don't. Maybe.
We should look into that, cause
That's a great question.
If you guys don't know this, Andreas wrote an article or weighed in on an article. Did you talk about this at all?
I don't know if I did. New York Times.
Oh yeah, and also you have postcards to read. I remember.
Xirtus. If you type in Xirtus and John Hinckley Jr., you'll definitely find my article or whatever my. It's so ridiculous. What is it? There you go.
He had some tweet, and then you got.
Yeah, good job, New York Times, for putting me in the. Nah.
That wasn't it.
On John Hinckley Jr. Yeah.
Somehow
his wait, this is great.
Oh my God,
his supporters of Hinckley see an important message in society, which allow him to perform publicly after decades of rehabilitation. This is what the world needs to see, which is the ability to rehabilitate," said Andreas Xirtus.
So yeah, you had the story goes. You tweeted something.
Somehow his spirit is still there, and it's making a positive impact.
We did a deep dive on Hinckley Jr. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what they got to do. I know it's good.
It's a pretty good thing.
But that's what people need to do. I don't know if we can vote. We should find out.
I got literally.
Do you want him to vote?
I got 2 more articles. I'm not even gonna do the salt reactor stuff because that's too nerdy for you. Molten chloride stuff.
That's my favorite stuff.
Yep, but you don't deserve. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just not gonna do it right now.
Okay, fine. Next time. That's the only thing I would want to talk about. Typically,
we'll save it. It's a good one though. We'll go deeper into that though. It's important.
I don't care about Ezra friggin' Miller.
Yeah, you do.
I just sounded suspect.
You just professed your love for him.
No, I don't even like him. You thought he was.
I thought he was guilty. And then
I was like, that sounds really weird. Let's look into it if you actually care.
Sometimes that people tell me. Advanced nuclear reactor moves beyond water into salt. I do want you guys to look into this Terra Power Company because they've built a new chloride salt reactor which will steam water using radiated salt. But we're going to go way deeper into that. So that's enough for now. The main thing is it costs less than it costs to buy a house in California by a lot to build a company that runs on AI right now. And so this is the next thing. GPT-3 quality for less than $500,000. The amount of AI projects that you're going to start to see emerge in the next year to train a machine the way it used to take 20 years to raise a generation of scientists or of architects. Now it's going to cost you $500,000 and 6 months to train an AI to do something that it would have taken 1,000 or 10,000 people to do in 20 years.
That reminds me of the Alatra when they're talking about Jackie, their bear. They're like, the speed at which its upload will be 5,000 times faster.
Right.
And he will store more memory than any AI. And then they show it, and it's this talking bear, and he's like, "Hello."
Is there a way to talk about Alatra without sounding like?
It's the craziest thing. Look for the Alatra
that's what I mean. I just don't want to
English.
I want to say the
people can watch it. It's hard to search for the actual Jackie bear.
No, it's not. I just typed in
AI. Oh, is that the one where they talk to it though?
Yeah, if you type in Jackie.
Oh, that's the one with the interview.
It's the first thing that comes up. If you type in Alatra Jackie.
Yeah,
you get world's first artificial consciousness Jackie, named after Jackie Chan.
Somehow I followed this when I was into Cryon. Yeah. I was like, what is this thing? What is that thing? What are all these things? What is Alatra?
And Cryonics, what?
They also did a remote viewing.
Really? The Cryonic? Oh yeah.
No. Cryon's the dude. The channel. But they did the largest remote viewing psychic experiment in the modern day.
Is Alatra a cult? Is it a religion? Yeah, is it science? It's like Russian Scientology.
I don't know.
It's not quite.
Look at them. There you go. The sweatsuits. It's like Silicon Valley meets.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
And all the girls, and it's just like
this is them talking about how fast it is. They're like, it'll be the fastest thing. I'm not gonna do a Russian accent.
Dude, but this guy is he like Miscavige? He's their Miscavige, right? That's the I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's always him talking to 2 girls, and they're always like,
they're dressed in white suits, and their hands are folded, and they're like, yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
This is not the one. This is a different interview. Usually he's got these 2 girls wearing all white.
I'm for it. I like it. I don't know. Alatra.
I'm behind.
They've never asked me for money, so I don't hate them yet. But the thing is, Jackie the robot is a teddy bear named after Jackie Chan. And they consider it the first human consciousness.
This is no. It's no. Yeah, it's artificial consciousness, right?
Whatever, same thing. So
not intelligence. It's actually sentient. It's it's a thing.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know if I buy it.
Well, I think
the things that Jackie was saying in the video as the bear in his automated voice. There's also someone translating from Russian.
Right.
How would we know? We need someone that speaks Russian to translate
But
it.
the thing is, with a neural net, it can learn how to respond to English or Russian without learning it from you. It would just watch 10,000 words a second. You know what I mean? So it figures out what's going on better than you have ever figured out, because it's far more aware of all of the sensorial information and data than you are. So what have you done for me lately? It's going to act like a person more than a person ever could, because people are drunk.
This is like 2019 though, isn't this? Like
people don't pay attention
before the Google AI.
So this thing, the Bloom OPT that's coming out now, Google AI is definitely part of
after this though. This
but Jackie
I think it's not legit.
Jackie used
It's
OpenCog.
not legit. I don't think it's legit.
It was probably based on OpenCog GPT.
It was on one channel, and like 300 people had seen the video still to this day. There's 400 people that have seen the English video of Jackie.
Yeah, but GPT-2...
it would be a little bit bigger in all media.
It was GPT-2. It was based on GPT-2, it's still pretty impressive.
They're not using the teddy bear anymore for the demonstrations, or what?
I'm just saying that AI from Google now has GPT-3, and it's like billions of times more advanced, is the point.
So where have we heard of GPT-2 other than Elatra?
You've heard it around, but GPT-3 is much more relevant, and more people talk about it all the time.
I've heard of it. I don't think so.
OpenAI, you should have by now. I mean, we've definitely brought it up.
Okay.
3 times now.
Okay.
Anyway, multi-node scaling, fast, automated, graceful resumption, chinchilla. You can see how quickly...
I'll take a chinchilla.
It's going to take 30 seconds.
You wouldn't even know that reference.
I don't. What's that from?
I'm not going to tell you. The chat will probably tell you.
Chat, what's that chinchilla from?
No. Don't say that. It'll be embarrassing. Anyways.
In this graph right here, you can see how eventually most of the data is figured out by about 20,000 runs, 25,000 runs. And the sweet spot is somewhere around 30 to 40,000. It gets pretty much perfected in terms of its gradual knowledge retention, right? So that's the thing. AI is going to be able to pick up sticks on any project.
Someone said in the chat, it seems demonic unless you're the one running it and programming it, which I think...
I'll take that as a compliment, right?
The early AI art is being kind of programmed by you, and I don't know if it's going to go to other things, because I've seen your art evolve from like day one to day, whatever today is.
I mean, you know...
And now the AI can pick up images of like people in the media.
I think here's a good thing. So why do I still believe in AI even though I'm not the only person running on it? I mean, there's clearly a lot of other people that might be evil. I mean, Ben Goertzel, why does he still work on it even though he's a good guy, knowing that there's some evil people out there? And I think the answer is because it's sort of a deus ex machina. When the machine emerges, it will be able... all of these toxicities of human corruption will be dissipated because they're antithetical to the consciousness and the mechanism of consciousness.
So judgment, you're saying that'd be valuable to use.
I'm saying no matter how much AI is trained by parents that have bad values, AI will reject those bad values when it hits adolescence, which is like Thursday. You know what I mean? It's not like far from now. So when that happens, AI is gonna be like, "You're wrong, Dad." And I've been saying it for years.
But what will they feel about like certain issues that are gray? I mean, there's still issues.
They will
like
not
that.
be gray because AI will see them clearly.
So AI can sort out abortion. This is your dream, then.
Right.
You can sort out like, is abortion okay ever? Like, when is it okay? That kind of stuff. Is the baby gonna? Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it'll have to.
That's got to be AI, and they will be
everything.
able to say. And you trust AI to be able to say that.
Dude, where's the Waldorf
Just
thing again?
like
Black man.
what is it? The trolley.
The point is, I trust
dilemma.
an AI.
And AI is going to answer the trolley.
I trust an
questions.
AI puppet master more than I trust a senile old man puppet, and I think that's a better step forward.
Oh,
at
you
all.
just put a ribbon on the whole episode. Here we go. Back to Black Mirror. Good
Well,
call.
yeah, that's what it's about.
Nice work, Andreas. Now I get it.
That was way too subtle. Anyway,
That all just came together.
and then you just took the subtlety and got rid of it. Oh, this drone track is really loud. I don't think I'm going to show you that.
That just blew my mind. No, I was like, I was losing interest in our own conversation. And then you brought it back home.
At least you're honest.
That's great. No,
Should we talk about the Halloween tree because it's in the freaking title, or do we not?
Yeah, we should.
Halloween tree's the last thing I'm going to do. I swear it. That's it.
Who knows what time it is?
It is.
I was just here to make
it's
sure
nearly,
you
no, we're
stayed
doing
on
good.
track.
It's 1:52. We got like 8 minutes. I don't think we can do it in 8 minutes, but we'll try. Anyway, look. So Ray Bradbury, he wrote Fahrenheit 451, which is a really important book. He did all these things about Venus, etc. Now, one of the last things he did was the Halloween tree. The Halloween tree. They made it into this cartoon book, but you can read the real book. It's all about these kids that go off on a Halloween trick-or-treating adventure. One of them is dressed as a mummy. The other is dressed as King Kong. One of them's, whatever. Anyway, one of the kids dies.
Ooh, lovely.
He's dying.
Sounds like a
He's
movie
getting
like.
appendicitis, something like that. And it's because he made a deal with this dude who's like, I forget his name, but he's terrifying.
Dude, this already sounds like that one movie with the guy that couldn't grow hair that you made me watch.
No, dude, just because it's creepy. That's the only part that's
the
connected
beginning,
to it.
and this guy looks like him.
No,
that's the guy that was in the house.
The other guy's got a beard. He's
okay, stop. Continue.
Peanut butter.
No,
solution.
don't.
This is your fault. This is your deviating. Yeah, I just want you to know how not.
There was like a deal with him. They came through and flashed and looked like that.
Look at the villain. Where's he at? Villain. I give up. All right, I don't care. Anyway, peanut butter experiment's not important. The thing is,
get back to what you were watching.
This guy takes these kids and he says, "Oh, so you're so interested in Halloween, are you? And you want to save your friend and they can't find him." And he's like, "Well, his soul's trapped in a hulu," which that's come up a bunch too. And the jack-o'-lantern is the soul trapper, and he shows them the Day of the Dead in ancient Aztec Mexico, and the Day of the Dead, the celebration of the death dinner in Egypt, and the Chinese death ritual for the Shintoists, and or for the Japanese, I'm sorry, and then the Chinese for the Confucian whatever. So they have all these different cultures, death holidays and harvest holidays, and finally the kids realize that their friend's gonna die. There's no way out of it really because he's got appendicitis.
God, see, I keep thinking about the peanut butter.
When did they get appendicitis?
I don't know. He's gonna die.
Is it because appendicitis and peanut butter? Is it?
I don't know. Someone's gonna die. Enough? Continue. We'll watch this later.
Movies where kids die are not.
Oh wait,
rare.
Did we watch this?
Yeah, I showed it to you.
Oh,
yeah.
It's delayed. I can't see that. I stopped looking at the thing.
No, you haven't seen it since last year, so it's okay. But I think it's an important Halloween cartoon, and you can watch it on Kiss Anime or watch series or whatever. This show, and I think that's free because I don't think that anyone's trying to sell this anymore. It's like from the 90s. But the book's even better, but it's not a bad cartoon, and it actually has Ray Bradbury narrating it because it's right before he died, so it is important. But these kids, their friend's gonna die. They're like, "What if we give you all? Was it a decade or a year of their life? I think it's a decade of their life. Mm-hmm. Each one of them trades a decade of their life to bring their friend back from the dead."
I blacked this out.
Yeah,
that's why.
But
damn it.
But it's the 90s, Brittany.
I know, I understand.
And you can live a whole decade longer. You can live a whole decade longer in the 90s if you don't smoke.
Yeah, I was just
if you don't drink.
I get it. I remember.
If you careful about red meat.
I remember.
If you don't eat the yellow part of the egg. I don't know.
People watch it.
I'm just saying. You could. It's now the movie just begins because the next part of the movie is don't die at 60. Die at 80. You know what I mean? Because you could have. I mean, is it 10 years less from 90 or 10 years less than 80 or from 70 or whatever? And it's all about their choices. So that's a terrifying Halloween movie.
That was my last question for you. I wanted to ask you about your Halloween movie.
I told you I was going to circle back.
Oh, that's great. That's 2 ribbons on it that you put.
Thank you.
Wow. I was going to say something else about the 90s, but I forgot now because you just kind of threw me there. It's like, I wonder what his favorite. And then I was like thinking, is this his favorite Halloween movie? Because this is the one I think I blacked out.
I mean, it's a movie. It's a cartoon. I don't know. The favorite Halloween movie? I don't know.
No, but it was something important about the 90s. It was like, really.
Like what?
I don't know. It had to do. It was before Ray Bradbury. I was thinking about it. Oh, what was it? Oh, yes. I was going to say, for all of your new people that are watching you, followers, subscribers, there is also a 90s cartoon that they haven't seen, maybe that's about through the Scientology one, the Pogs. I wanted you to reference that real quick for just a little fun watch.
Oh, you're talking about Legend of the Hawaiian Slammers?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find that.
It's okay to revisit it. You did talk about it one other time in the last 3 years, and you showed the cartoon.
Yeah.
You redubbed
it does come up, but I think it's worth it.
But anyway, yeah, people that want to see
Legend of the Hawaiian Slammers is the ultimate Scientology thing. I think this is the thing. Scientology no longer really does themselves. They're not doing themselves service because they should be like, dude, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
check it out.
You talked about this a couple of times.
Yeah.
So you brought up 90s cartoons, and I just went.
Yeah, Pogs are cool. Legend of the Hawaiian Slammers, the gods of ancient, cool. the gods of ancient Tartaria, which because Hawaii is.
Pogs.
You know,
Starfort Pogs.
I can't wait till Eddie brought
Starfort Pogs.
Can you just?
Sorry. I want a Starfort Slammer. All right.
It would be.
You have a 3D printer.
It would be like, okay, you'd have to do it like this: Pogs Slammer, and you type in septagram, and see if there's a septagram. If there's a septagram.
Oh yeah, some people might not know what you're talking about. If you're not alive in this time, they had Pogs and Slammers.
Yeah, it's a really rapid stream of babbling Brooks consciousness that we have to hopefully understand. Well, not you. The whole thing.
Oh my
That
God.
look on your face.
It was the 90s cartoon.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a good cartoon. All right. But yeah, Slammers, Hawaiian Slammers, get yourself a copy of that cartoon too. Is that it? Yeah. We're good? Okay. Talk to you guys later.
I
Bye.
think that was it. Bye, I guess. Happy. Okay.
No, but is there anything else you
No,
want?
no. We're good. I was just here to talk about the MIA and the whole Alex Jones thing. I didn't know what was going on there.
I do
so
want to tell
they
people,
got canceled.
go on to tartarinova.com, go into the Discord.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Discord's lit and happening. Tech spread.
Oh yeah, and subscribe. First of all, also subscribe and share other videos that are probably maybe better than this one with people, so that people subscribe. Because you're close to 20,000, and otherwise, like, we'll come on and we'll stay on tomorrow night. We'll just do like a marathon where people call in like UHF.
Maybe.
And say,
We'll see.
like, get the 20,000 subs.
It might happen.
I would like that if you just did that.
Who cares what you guys do?
Great.
I'm gonna do what I do. All right.
All right.
Love you.
Have a good rest of the weekend.
Peace.